This episode of Limit Break Radio is made possible by our generous Patreon donors, including JDO of Excalibur, Maruli Epican of Gilgamesh, and Jack O'Ryan of Sargatanis. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/Limit Break Radio.
Lube up your fucking dick holsters for the goddamn product of the flippin' century. From the makers of Lords of Verminion and Lords of Verminion Go bring you Lords of Verminion Go, the card game. Base set 1, Explorers of Authored. Shit yeah, son. This ain't your grandpappy's card game. Throw your piece of shit triple triad collection in the water. Lords of Verminion Go, the card game, base set 1, Explorers of Authored, is the first set of many virtual card sets which you collect by traveling the real world. Improve your card collection by spinning Aetheryte across the globe. Feel like you're in Authored itself with the Far East theme. Experience the thrill of real card games without having to lug around hundreds of physical, bulky cards. When two Lords of Verminion Go, the card game players' eyes meet, you have to battle. Player vs. Player battling feature coming soon. Buy your virtual pack download codes today at any major retailer for Lords of Verminion Go, the card game, base set 1, Explorers of Authored, and begin your virtual card game real-life journey today.
Live from Eorzea.
Limit Break. With your hosts, Unhero.
Now behold the horror you have wrought.
Kahlo.
I said don't take your clothes off.
Juxtaposition.
I don't get it.
Ascalia.
Holy shit, totally forgot about him.
And Mika.
Oh my god.
LimitBreakRadio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio, episode 127. We are back. Thank you guys so much for allowing us our week off for Labor Day last weekend.
So nice.
It was really nice. It really was.
I saw family,
I know.
and they were like, you grew your hair out.
You exist.
It's been a while. You haven't seen me in a bit.
You know,
Great.
it's funny because I was like, I called my parents. I was like, hey, guess what? I've got a Sunday available. Do you want to go do something? And they were like, we're flying to Alaska rather than hang out with you.
Wow, they couldn't have made up something more plausible?
Hey, his sister lives up there now, right?
Actually, she's not going to be living up there. That's a really long story.
Okay.
We got 3 hours.
It's not like we have anything more interesting to talk about.
Her husband got deployed to Afghanistan.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a much longer trip.
Yeah, so
Ah.
not good.
So you bottom lined it pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that long a story.
No, it really wasn't. I mean, I could make it a very long story, but we're just gonna
hard pass on that one.
Yeah, we're just gonna kind of move past that one. Anyway, welcome to the show. Thank you guys for joining us again. Thank you for allowing us our week off. It's nice when you let us out of the studio every once in a while. Seriously though, it was really, really nice having that week.
So you're just basically saying that you would rather not be around here for our listeners. That's what you're saying. It was nice not being here.
No, that's exactly what we're saying.
well,
it was nice for a week to not be here.
That's what me and Ascalia are saying. The fact is, Anira was actually still here, though.
That's the
was,
thing. Yeah.
I was still here.
I know. We both were still here.
Oh, I wasn't. Hell no.
We'll get to Daddy of Light here in just a second.
No.
Dad of Light.
Dad of Light. It is Dad of Light. Officially on Netflix. You can't deny it. It's there.
Except
You were the one denying it all the time, Nika.
You're like, it's Father of Light according to the kanji expressions that you see in the upper right corner of here.
It should be
she
Father
even
of
corrected you on that.
Light. But Dad of Light is better than Daddy of Light. So I'll take it. All
right.
Dad of light.
Anyway, let's kick it on over.
Still sounds dumb.
Let's kick it on over to our Eorzean studios. For some reason, I don't know why today, but the connection between the PS4. Wow, I don't know what that was, but the connection between the PS4 and the Vita TV not so hot today. So everything looks.
No, it looks all glitchy.
Yeah, it looks all it's all like pixely and weird. I don't know why that
from
is.
Vanadil?
I know, right? Anyway, so thanks for joining us. Appreciate having you along. Twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio is where we're live. If you want to join us live, call into the show. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We're going to be talking all about Live Letter 38, as well as Ultimate Savage, which is probably the only thing that anyone was excited for at all in any capacity from that live letter.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Conceptually.
sure. Excited,
really
nervous.
Quick, we've had 2 people now in the chat ask no drops.
Oh my god,
What's going on over there, Scalia?
Yeah, I guess I can try and do
Today
drops in
you
the
are
show.
escaposition.
I quit.
Nope. Nope.
That's not a fun. I'm just look. I'm gonna. I remembered how difficult it was to actually do drops while hosting the show because 2 weeks ago, it was just me here in the studio. You guys got to stay home for that one.
And you were able to do it, which means
I mean, I
he
was
should
able
be
to do it every once in a while, but I don't know what your excuse is, Excali.
Look, if you can just do 1 or 2 drops that work well, you don't need to worry about doing ones that don't work well.
Just pepper them in.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do my best. I'm on it.
Give it the
Anyway.
old college try.
Anyway,
I still live with my parents.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean.
That's fair. It's also painfully true.
Where did
I
that
mean,
come out?
is that a confession?
Like he's using drops on a whole different level now.
Yeah.
They're just commentaries on his life.
Yeah, no, now it's just gonna be very meta.
I like how you didn't even mute the speakers. Like this is how
Why are
little
the speakers on? What do we use them for?
I watch porn on that computer.
Okay, maybe you should turn the speakers off when you're done and wipe off the keyboard.
Oh, goodness.
No. No, Juxta uses that station. It's like, you know how like animals claim their territory? It's a little bit like that.
Man.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
To remind him that it's me. That's mine. These are all my things.
Great.
He would take it if I didn't.
He would lick the keyboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Protein.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Appreciate having you along. We are supported by your support over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio, and grateful for your support. Just, something that I do want to make sure that I mention is that all 3 of our shows currently are supported through your support over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. Even though, we're working very hard on Checkpoint Radio, which, by the way, stay tuned at 7 tonight after Limit Break Radio, around 7-ish. We'll have the latest episode of Checkpoint Radio, and this week is a really great episode. It's our coverage of PAX West.
It's so huge.
It is a big episode.
Nice.
We also sit down with the CEO of Allied Esports, Judd Hannigan, for an interesting conversation about what they're doing. They're the organization that's making the esports arena over at the Luxor. And I definitely want to encourage everyone to hang out for coverage of that. The PAX West coverage is really, really good. We had live reporter Jessica Szymanski out on the scene. She got to speak with Koji Igarashi, the godfather of the Vania style games, about Bloodstained. Got to catch up with Stephen Sharif about Ashes of Creation, including beta information and what their end game is going to look like. And spoiler alert, 40-person raid. That sounds pretty interesting. And also, we sit down with the developer of a single shard space-themed MMO called Dual Universe, which on a technical level is just really goddamn impressive. That's all coming up today on Checkpoint Radio, so stay tuned for that. All right. Real quick, postcards from Eorzea. Kahlo, do you have an update for those that are already a $20 patron over at patreon.com/limitbreakradio?
That's right. Just this past week, we sent out Senpai's card, which is chock full of about 16 abs. Within that postcard,
There's
there
so
are
many
16,
abs.
so many abs, guys.
Getting an extremely gay vibe.
All right,
You see,
I'll give you that. I'll give you
That's
that
nice.
one.
But yeah, that's gone out, and we actually already have the next postcard in the bank. So that's getting set already, and it's going to feature one of us. Obviously, we're back to the hosts now that we're done with the ancillary cast, and it's going to feature
The what cast?
Ancillary. I'm saying that.
Ancillary.
Right. Ancillary. There you go. Cast. We're back to the hosts now, and it will be Halloween themed. Since even though technically, I guess it's September's card, you guys will be getting it in October, so it's October's card.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
So, but not everyone's going to be holiday or Halloween themed.
No. The one after that will be Thanksgiving themed.
Okay.
And then Christmas themed, then New Year themed, and then lastly Valentine's Day themed.
So as the holiday clusterfuck approaches, so too does the host card clusterfuck.
I see.
I like it.
see. So we get a spooky card for October. Then.
All right, I quit now.
You did this. You were the one who made it a thing. So good job. It's spooky.
Hit the news thing.
Is Mutanero a thing?
No,
Unfortunately, it's not.
No, it's not.
Let's not suck the ghost of his too hard.
Oh, I didn't know I was going to say his dick. Damn. I just wanted to say suck the ghost off.
He doesn't even know the goddamn drops.
No, I
Funny
don't.
though. He doesn't know what Juxta names either.
I mean, I labeled half of them for crying out loud.
Right, but so like it just says, let's not suck the ghost off. So that's what I thought it would say. That's not what it said.
That's too good.
It was still okay.
I mean, is this appropriate right now? I feel like this might be appropriate.
Live in the now!
Okay, maybe not.
This is so dumb.
Anyway,
God, go to news.
good job with that drop. Maybe no more drops for you.
I'm thrilled.
No, he's doing pretty good so far. It's at least entertaining.
You want to encourage that performance? That was terrible.
Exactly. Yeah, keep it going.
Anyway, patreon.com/limitbreakradio. If you want to make sure that content like this lives on,
Lives on.
Why would
why?
you at this point?
Just lives on.
I don't know why though. All right, I guess let's just check out what's going on in the news.
This is a Limit Breaking News Update.
We're going to start off with some congratulations to Denmo and the Final Fantasy XIV community for raising over $20,000 for the hurricane relief in 24 hours yesterday. Apparently, it was quite the Lalafell invasion.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Which is why I
Nice
guess you
job.
weren't invited to help, right?
Nice job, Denmo. Nice job. But 20,000, that's it? That's all you can do?
No.
Really? I mean,
That's pretty good for the FF14 community.
For the 14 community?
I would say
okay.
considering the 14 streaming community is pretty low right
That's
now.
all right.
I'd say 20,000 is pretty strong.
That's all right.
That's more people than log in.
Savage. Oh, dude.
yeah.
No, I'm just
I totally burned you.
I'm just kidding, Denmo. He doesn't like me anyway.
Yeah,
It's
he's
fine.
trying
he
to
hates
stay
your
on his
he
bad
he
side.
fucking hates me anyway, so it doesn't matter what I say. But no, that's really awesome. $20,000 is a big accomplishment. Congratulations to him. And seriously, awesome. Good on everyone who donated to that too. We talked about this a little bit on Final Encountercast, but between Harvey and Irma right now, I mean, we just took a look at some pictures of that, epic
a mess.
crane collapse that's happening right now. It just seems, I just want to remind everyone, let's make sure that efforts are going to hurricane relief, maybe not just one area or the other. We can't forget about Harvey because of how
Irma.
big Irma is, and it does feel a little bit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it does feel like
Harvey's yesterday's news.
Yeah, and I don't think that
No one
that's
intends that.
That's not purposeful.
Right.
It's only because I think Irma is so dangerous.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
everyone is so focused on it. So, But I'm sure that there will be concentrated effort reliefs for both areas. But that's really awesome. Congratulations, Demo.
Well, gather one and all and praise Lord Yoshi, for all of your dreams and wishes have been answered.
Praise the butt god.
Psych. Yokai Watch is back.
Oh, no.
God damn.
No.
Now, the official page from the Lodestone says that you can collect new minions, but from what I remember, they look to be the same ones to me. Like the one that I got to get my daggers is on there, so I don't think that they're new at all, and the weapons all seem to be the same. Again, just judging by the ninja weapon. So I guess if you missed out on Yokai the first time, now is your chance to
Why is this happening?
Yeah, they basically just reactivated it.
Yeah, why? Why is this happening?
Because
explain it to me, Nero. With your infinite wisdom of Square Enix politics, explain this to me.
Because the maker of Yokai Watch asked them to.
People only do things because they get paid.
I mean, I'm not gonna. There could have. I don't know. There could have been blowjobs involved. I don't know what the exchange rate for blowjobs is.
Here's what I'm going to ask.
But I believe I requested the hand job.
Here's what I'm going to ask our viewers, okay? Because
you're sticking to those Wayne's World drops pretty.
I'm sticking with what I know, man. I love that movie.
Out of all the people that I know that play the game, I think that Juxta was the only one who got the Whisper mount, right? So if anybody really wants to stick it to Juxta, go and get that mount.
We should all get it.
I'm really sad. By the way, I'm really sad that Juxta's not here today. By the way, Juxta's not here because of his stupid baby.
Stupid baby.
Don't call baby stupid. We don't know what that baby is going to be like.
She's
really?
Right. We don't know that little Bert's going to be dumb, but looking at the parents, she ain't got good chances.
Oh, who gives a shit about a baby?
Yay!
I found it.
Good job.
I'm sorry. It was under O.
Oh, who gives a shit about a baby?
Yeah, great. That's awesome. What do we?
Everything is at least the ones that I put in there are written verbatim.
We use the same organization system that my work does, where they put things under the Amazing Spider-Man, as my coworker has so kindly named it the Doofus Decimal System.
See, now if I were you, I would have taken credit for that joke.
Yeah.
I'm kind enough to give him credit. That was funny. It made me laugh.
None of us will. That's a good one. We got to steal that.
Yep,
anyway, yeah. No,
the baby's mother is currently in chat.
Juxta is not here. But his stupid baby is what is preventing him from being here. So, everyone congratulate Juxta on his stupid baby and get it all out. But next week...
Did I miss the baby shower, by the way? Did we end up doing that for him?
No.
Oh, good.
No, and now that he's had the baby, he doesn't get one, right?
We're off the hook. We made it. We ran out the clock on that one.
Yeah, because you can't have a baby shower if you've already had a baby.
Exactly.
No,
yeah.
As long as we've established that.
So does that mean I get to keep the thing that I bought him then?
What did you buy him?
I didn't buy him anything.
Okay.
I'm just making sure that
why would you need to keep any baby things anyway?
It was just a backwards way of saying I don't need to go out and buy anything now, right?
And Nero having baby confirmed.
My grandma keeps yelling at me because I never bought him anything for the baby.
I mean, is a juicer a bad thing to buy a new parent?
Wait, hold on. The last time you got him a present, you were like, but it has to stay here.
Yeah, you got him a label maker.
That basically is still just your label maker.
It is.
Yeah, so he's going to get him a juicer that can only be used when he's here on Sundays.
That's right, because I need some juice, goddammit. I mean, it makes perfect fucking sense.
Hey, Juxta's in chat. You still need to buy me presents.
How are you? If you can be in chat, you can be on the fucking show.
You can at least be on Zoom from your house.
You fat idiot. What are you doing? Why would you even
hold on,
say
wait. Let me guess. Are you back in the hospital because Roberta got another bad baby score? Yeah.
A what?
Bad baby score.
What's up? What is that?
Know.
What are you talking about?
That's what I asked him. I'm like, what's that? And he's like, well, there's a bunch of stuff that they check for, and if there's too many of them wrong, you get a bad baby score.
Okay.
So it's not a good thing.
Here's the problem: is he was
that's
given
when I
a
stay
very
in the hospital longer.
Yeah, he was given a very scientific term for that. something important that he's supposed to understand. He's like, they gave her a bad baby score. I don't know.
So he's
That's
like,
I just imagine now a big sorting machine of babies, and here's
baby rating.
Here's this googly-eyed dumb baby with its tongue sticking out, and the machine scans it and goes. Like puts a big red X on it, and it goes down the other chute, and Juxta's just sitting there like, I guess it was a bad baby. We're gonna have to move on.
Outstanding.
I saw half of the movie Boss Baby in a Xanax haze in a Xanax haze on a plane, and that's maybe I feel like I'm piecing things together from that movie and just applying them to this analogy.
You saw half of it. That's still way too much.
I totally agree.
What were the other options to watch?
There was none.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was Bad Baby or Stare at the Wall.
When we flew back from E3, we could do like Logan or Rogue One. Like,
yeah. No, that's because we flew an actual airline. This was Frontier Airlines.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That sounds like the Spartan brand of airlines.
It really is. Like you couldn't put your seat back. There was no seat reclining, and all of the TVs were old. Like all of the in the back TVs, screens, whatever they were like 5-10 years old, and they all just showed fucking the same movie. So we all just sat and watched the fucking Boss Baby movie.
They just said, now we understand we don't have any water on this plane and the electricity is sparse. However, you can watch the Boss Baby.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And if you don't want to kill yourself by the end of that, well,
about every 5 rows had an electrical outlet, which was not my row.
No,
by the way.
Okay.
And then the water was like $4 a bottle.
Jeez.
Or $4 a drink. Like it was fucking never fly Frontier. Anyway,
we're pretty butthurt about it.
So one thing the Final Fantasy franchise does exceptionally well, regardless of the installment, is the music. So if you're a fan of Soken's arrangements, and let's be honest, who isn't, then this next bit of news is sure to delight. The Eorzean Symphony, the first full orchestra concert, will be taking place later this month. In light of this concert, a special selection of songs from the performance will be released in album form. So check out the Lodestone for more information on how to get yourself a copy of the Final Fantasy XIV orchestral arrangement album.
All right, I'm excited for that.
This is only in Japan as well, right?
Hang on. The performance is only in Japan. I'm sure that the album will be available in multiple regions.
Probably, but I want to go to the concert.
I agree.
Yeah, me too.
Nika, I totally agree. I will take an album as a consolation, however, and I am very excited about an album.
Listen, we say a lot of mean things about Final Fantasy XIV. I think that's fair to say. We say a lot of depressing or mean things. Never about its music.
No.
Never, ever about it.
I didn't
tear into its music.
I didn't like Stormblood's music, no.
It was all right. It wasn't as good as Heaven's Words.
Oh, I do.
No.
It was okay.
I don't know. I think if you were to go back and maybe just listen to the album, you might at least pick up some things that you like.
I don't know. There's too much of that sad Asian violin thing. It's not quite a violin, but it's some sort of stringed instrument that you play with a yeah.
It's the Asian version of a violin.
That thing. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but he used that a little bit too much for my taste. That's just an opinion.
That's fair.
That might just be my racism coming out. I don't know what that is, but I was not a fan of it. Yeah. Anyway, no, but I am very excited for the idea of a orchestra, like a full orchestra playing 14 music. I think that's phenomenal.
And the albums sell well, we might see an appearance over here somewhere. Probably not near Michigan.
No, yeah. If it's going to be over here, it's going to be in Los Angeles.
Or Chicago.
I doubt it.
I wish.
I really, really doubt it.
Probably LA, but Chicago. I mean, Distant Worlds is home in America. It's Chicago.
Distant Worlds, though, has a far wider appeal than something like the FF14 Orchestra. I think
it's run a lot more independently of Square Enix than this would be too.
I think what I would hope for is that maybe a couple of these arrangements end up working their way towards Distant Worlds.
Yeah, okay, I can see that happening.
That could happen.
Having a selection from the Eorzean Symphony at Distant Worlds.
Yeah. I think that would be very cool. But I'm kind of curious if what role Soken has in that. I mean, obviously he's the composer, but I mean, will he conduct?
I don't know if he would conduct. I don't think he would. I think
it's a very specific skill to conduct an orchestra.
Right. I think it'll be more like what Uematsu does with Distant Worlds, where he's usually in attendance and sometimes he goes up and plays an instrument for a song.
That's what I would expect. I think that's what I would be very.
Uematsu usually ends up singing in the Sephiroth choir.
That's cool.
You guys are assuming that they're going to let Soken out of the basement that they put him in to make music to break world records.
No, but I think that's what I would hope for, is that he would come out and play something with the orchestra. I think that would be very
Because
cool.
when he did that at the shows at FanFest, it was great.
Yes, absolutely. Fate Burger in the chat saying, I like the Dome and Castle theme. I did too. I thought that was very good. I thought that was very good. I'm not saying all the Stormblood music was bad. I'm just saying
overall the OST for it.
The authored music was
what you hear
not
the
my favorite.
most because you're around in like these zones and crap like
yeah,
that.
we seem to linger in authored for an awful long time in Stormblood.
And you're right. Now that you've like pointed it out and I've been thinking about it, I hear that instrument you were talking about. Ugh. Ugh.
It really is a terrible instrument. Anyway, but no, legitimately, I am very, very excited about this, and I would love to see a performance in the States, but I don't hold out any hope for it.
Probably right.
I don't hold out any hope for it whatsoever.
Later this month, on September 21st through the 24th, Tokyo will host one of the biggest gaming expos, the Tokyo Game Show. Square Enix has had a present at E3, Gamescom, and so, of course, TGS will be no different. Some of the events they have planned for visitors will be a 8v8 feast that could net you a sweet t-shirt. There will also be an introduction event where players create a brand new character with staff on hand to guide you through the beginning of the game. No word yet on primal challenges, but there is still time.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Although I have to say, their placement of their booth at Gamescom was pretty brilliant because there were multiple interviews during that PUBG tournament where I'm like, yeah, there is the FF14 banner.
Yeah, you are correct.
And I have to say that the PUBG tournament was probably the most interesting thing out of Gamescom.
At Games, absolutely.
The most visible single event.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, and people are still
got a
going,
golden frying pan for win. What more do you want?
I don't know. I feel like the hype on that game is very real. Like the hype on that.
Yeah, 10 million people don't lie.
It really is. Like it's going to be a huge thing, but very smart on the part of Square Enix. Or I mean, it was probably not even their decision, but they got some real nice exposure out there.
RNGesus for the win.
Yeah, right. But yeah, not a big surprise that they're going to be out at Tokyo Game Show. Still surprising though that they seem to love E3 and Tokyo Game Show and Gamescom a whole lot more than their FanFest audience. All those freebies, that free T-shirt, and our
freebies for FanFest were a little lacking.
Yeah,
it was just a giant bag.
Nika, come on now,
you got T-shirts, Nika,
especially in comparison to 2014.
Yeah, I still wear my 2014 T-shirt that just came from registering.
I had mine on earlier. I
love it. It says Warrior of Light on the back. It's so cool.
Yeah, and I had my Odin T-shirt on yesterday. But yeah, like the fact that it wasn't even possible to get a T-shirt out at FanFest,
unless you braved the line.
Well, no,
that's different. That's merch.
Yeah,
that's merch.
You could get you could win a T-shirt at E3 if you were willing to brave the line.
Yes, and we tried.
I mean, unless you're kooky, then people just give you T-shirts.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, we were 0 for 1 on the E3 line. Like the line beat us.
The line did beat us.
Yeah,
that's the actual challenge. It's not beating the fight. It's beating the line.
Because there are people that beat those fights that have never played the game before. I'm like, how do you know what buttons to push?
That's upsetting. Because I watch people wipe on those fights. I know quite a few
people that have those I beat so and so T-shirts that don't play this game.
They bought them or they carried them.
They got carried like Kooky. They got carried.
They got out of line. They said, "Oh, look, you just won your 4th shirt. Here's $20." That's a cool shirt.
Also, patch 4.06a. It was a tiny patch, one that honestly hardly even constitutes the need to announce it, Square Enix, but it did bring some adjusted PvP actions such as potency, HP duration, and recast time.
What a totally amazing, excellent discovery.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. I mean, I guess whatever.
Yay.
It's a thing. Is that it?
That's everything.
That patch was such a troll though, because I admit these actions are affected in PvP only was so small compared to the rest of it.
Right.
That I was actually like, oh my god, why are they nerfing this so much? I was actually pissed, and then I was like, oh wait, it's only
me and Anir actually had the same moment on stream.
Yeah.
Someone had brought it up, and we were pissed because it was changed. And someone's like, you guys know it was PvP only, and we're like,
it was so small at the top,
then.
it didn't even. Yeah.
I read those patch notes. I'm like, wait, Dragoon nerfs? Excuse me? The hell? You think we need to do less damage? And they're like, PvP only. All right, I don't care anymore.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you, Kahlo, for the news update. Coming up, we're going to talk about Ultimate Savage.
I guess.
And yes, we are. If you want to sound off on this, I guess proposed new mode that we're going to be getting, Limit Break Radio on Skype 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Again, details are a bit sketchy on all of the requirements for Ultimate Savage, but there a couple of the announcements about the requirements have gotten people up in arms. We're going to talk about a official forums post that's been going around. But first, let's talk about live letter number 38. This was, of course, part of the 14-hour live broadcast that was last weekend. When we were sitting around watching it today, I was like, remember when we used to sit around and watch these live and it was like exciting? Like, is it the fact that I've been through two of them and there was just fuck all there except for what was in the live letter that makes me go, this is just a complete fucking write-off?
I think one of the reasons, too, that I really noticed from today is they don't do a whole lot for it. I mean, sure, it was a 14-hour stream, but watching just what was on the live letter. When I was doing the outline, I copy and paste what was on the official forums, like the official posted stuff by Matt, right? Onto our outline and stuff. And then when I got here, you were the one that suggested maybe we should actually watch it in case there was anything that was presented in the live letter that wasn't there.
I was hoping for video
or something.
Yeah,
but nope. Each time they talked about a new feature, it was basically like, all right, so there's a new trial, and it's Shinryu.
Now,
talking moon speak. Move on to the next one.
Now, again, they were talking a lot about what's going to be coming out in patch 4.1, but there is a second part of the live, or there's more to cover. There's going to be another live letter that they're going to be doing, talking about some additional things that are going to be coming in patch 4.1. So
like Eureka, because we still don't know.
God, it better be Eureka, because we've heard nothing about it. We heard of very, very, very little about Evilise. I have a sneaking suspicion that most of that presentation is going to end up being about the Evilise raid, but if they don't make some serious announcements about Eureka soon, they're really just going to lose people.
Prediction. So we know the odd-numbered patches are when we get the one dungeon and what is now various other tasks. I think 4.1, we know it's coming, right? The raid is the big thing, blah, 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 blah. 4.2, we get our 2 dungeons. 4.3 is when we get Eureka.
Oh my God, no.
That's my prediction. Yep.
I mean, you're welcome to your prediction.
No,
that's horrifying.
Because they still said new content will come alongside the dungeons. I'm willing to bet it'll be 4.2.
Skuro actually suggests what I'm thinking is that we'll hear about Eureka at Tokyo Game Show. That'll be the 14 reveal at TGS. That's like, because that's September 21st, about 2 weeks before patch day.
Well, wait a minute. Hang on. I bet that the second part of this live letter is going to be Tokyo Game Show.
Yep, you're right. And that's where they'll announce it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yep, they'll talk a little bit more about Evilise and Tokyo Game Show.
I hope so.
If they don't talk about Eureka at the Tokyo Game Show, can I punch you once as hard as I can?
No. However, I will agree. If at Tokyo Game Show they do not talk about Eureka, then you're right. It's 4.3. I would agree with you at that point.
That's not as fun,
I would say
though.
I would still say 4.2 because everything they're going to talk about is going to be 4.1 right now, I'm sure. So if they don't talk about it, because we know in 4.2 we're getting 2 dungeons, the other content is going to be Eureka.
No, because we only get other content every odd-numbered patch.
Right, we don't get that on 4.2.
I thought that was...
No, 4.2 will be 2 dungeons and then the next leg of Omega.
Right.
No, but I thought they said that because we're getting less dungeons, there will be other new content to instead.
Oh, no.
On the other patches.
Yes.
What the
4.1, 4.3, 4.5.
Makes no sense.
Welcome to Square Enix, Nika.
This is why we've been angry for a year now.
Hi, Nika. Welcome to where we were 3 months ago.
I don't get it.
Nobody does.
Nobody does. It's terrible.
Happy. They're David Lynching us, but they're really bad at it.
Like,
because then why lower the dungeons if that's not even good? Oh, okay.
And hang on, let's not forget about how much more money they're spending on Stormblood, quote unquote. I mean, which is it though? Like, which is it? Are you spending more money on the game, or are you making less content? Like, why would you say? This doesn't make fucking sense. This does not make sense.
Nothing about it does. No.
I mean...
Oh, Yoshi. What are you
Well, no, I mean,
It's all bad.
we know that Square Enix has been actively lying to its player base for a long time. All you have to do is look at the number of people who are playing the game. More air quotes.
Oh, yeah, what, 10 million?
10 million.
Oh, really? Is there 10 million playing the game? Because I log in and I can't find people.
Yeah.
Well, I'm willing to bet because even most of us, when we're not playing, are still subscribing. I'm willing to bet there's 10 million people paying but not playing.
No. That 10 million people have paid.
Yes.
That's what that number
Bought
is.
the game. There is no way that there are more people playing Final Fantasy XIV than are playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
No, that is 10 million people who have subbed for a month.
I
minimum.
don't know. Maybe.
Look
around. Like, you think so?
Around the time of Stormblood, like, I don't think...
Like, you guys talk all about PlayerUnknown's Battleground, but, like, I feel like I have friends with a variety of different gamers and stuff on Facebook and on all different social media, and I barely hear about it. I just hear about it from you guys.
Go on Twitch.
I know it's super big, and it's at the game shows it's super big, but, like, in just terms of, like, the general populace of people, I don't hear about it as much as I would.
The number one streamer right now has 20,000 people watching him.
Yeah.
One guy.
I mean, I don't doubt that it's big, but I just feel like
here's two things, right? It's leading Twitch in viewers and it's leading Steam in players right now, concurrent active players.
But here's the thing, though, I
maybe
feel
people just don't post about it on social media as much. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Here's one thing to say about that is that it is still PC only, so it has not hit the console base.
That's true.
Yeah. You know, the other thing here is that, you know, I think that FF14 does a disservice to its own game when it says join the 10 million players, and then when people sign up, they barely see anyone online in the fucking world.
There's only ever, I think the last time that I remember when I zoned into the locks, because they still have the instance like zones there.
Yeah.
There was less than 30 people between all three of them.
Log into your residential ward. You want to see a ghost town.
Yeah.
Like, and to be fair, like, you know, it's a residential ward. You should only be there when you're kind of in downtime. I get that.
Yeah.
But it's
a
empty.
Ghost town.
It's empty. There's no one there.
Zero people.
Like, people don't even hang out and craft in there anymore.
Yeah. Go to some of the old ARR zones.
Oh, God. Yeah, I can't even imagine
why
what
would
that
those
looks like.
zones have people?
Yeah, that I wouldn't expect to have anyone.
An MMO, I think an MMO, at least a healthy MMO, should have players at every, at nearly every zone.
No one hung out in Babiki Bay after Treasures of Ottergon came out.
I mean, yeah.
The COP zones disappeared.
Yeah, but I mean, you could still walk through somewhere, like, oh God, Tarongi Canyon and see people,
right?
Because you had to. You had to. But I'm saying that in
transition spot
in an MMO,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
but in the world of fast travel, that's over with.
I'm just saying, I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. I hate logging into a game that feels like there's no one else playing.
When you walk through, like, if you go, where was it? I was leveling up a new character on right outside Ul'dah, Thanalan, and oh my God, there's no one in Eastern Thanalan.
Yeah.
It's empty.
I know.
Where are other people who are leveling new characters? They don't exist.
They don't, because they can just buy their way past that.
They jumped, or they're playing a new job where you don't have to.
Right.
Or a new game,
or they're playing a better game.
Funner.
I mean
a newer game. I mean a better game.
All of those things work.
It all works. Whatever.
Yeah. A newer, better game.
A newer, better game. Playing Ashes of Creation. They got in the alpha, unlike me.
I don't think the alpha's running yet.
Not yet. December.
That was why I didn't get in.
They're aiming for December.
I wouldn't say you didn't get in yet. I wouldn't say you didn't get in yet. I wouldn't say that.
Okay. I'm not going to say it then. Anyway. I got in.
No, I wouldn't say that either.
But I want to say that.
God damn it.
Positive reinforcement.
The more you say it, the more likely.
False reinforcement's more like it.
The sooner it'll come true.
So, patch 4.1 due out early October. That is pretty standard. They at least didn't take the big break.
Like last time, because we were expecting October and we got it at the end of November, right? 6 weeks later?
But Heavensward was too hard.
Yeah,
it worked them too hard.
I hate this.
I'm so sad for people who make a lot of money doing something that they enjoy doing. Yeah. So sad that you have to work a bunch. It's like no one is sad for me when I'm like, man, I had a hard week at work, and they're like, oh really? You had a hard week at work talking into a microphone and making fart noises for 3 hours. Really?
But to be fair, you don't make a lot of money doing that.
No, I
we
don't.
make very little money doing
And
that.
you just had a weekend off.
I make just a hair above minimum wage at my day job. Like, not that much above minimum wage. I'm lucky to get 25 hours when I get it. You know? Like, if I work extra, I'm actually kind of grateful for it. But that's why you don't hear me complain about working.
Yeah, no, we need the money. We need the hours.
I don't complain about the work that I have to do for Limit Break Radio. I don't complain about the work that I have to do during my day job. The only time that I'll get a little defensive about it is if people are like, "Oh, why aren't you streaming in Euro?"
You make $1,600 a month. No, we
Fuck's
don't.
sake.
I wish.
I wish we did.
Yeah,
I wish. I wish
each of us is getting.
I wish. I wish I made $1,600 a month.
Oh, what would you do with $1,600 a month?
You know what I would do, Scalia?
Invest.
Life-changing.
You know what I would do?
Except that's like what my rent is.
I would pay my bills. That's what I would pay my bills, and I'd pay them on time.
Yeah, see, and that's the point. Is I'm literally like fantasizing about not having a credit card payment. Like, wow.
Anyway, so new MSQ, obviously they're calling this patch the Legend Returns. Any theorizing that anyone wants to do?
Which legend's coming back?
Which legend is returning?
Ugh.
Minfilia.
No.
She's the legend. She's coming back.
In order to call somebody a legend, like I feel like that has to be someone that not just we consider a legend, but that
the world considers a legend.
Either the world or Eorzea or Authored considers a legend, because they go on to say that the events of this patch will basically sort of be showing what's happening within Dome and Alamigo after the 4.x series
So
happened.
the legend then would be Gosetsu. Everyone thinks he's dead.
Come on!
What does that have to do with like Eorzea though? Like I wouldn't think that anybody in Alamigo looks at Gosetsu and thinks of him as the legend.
Maybe it's us. Maybe we're the legend. We got taken down a peg in 4.0 or 4.0. That's what we're on, right? Yes, that's the one. Yeah, we got taken down a peg. We've risen up. We've defeated the bad guy now. Maybe, we're the legend returning.
Here's what I think.
But we never went away.
Here's what I think. When you look at Omega and how they're drawing from the idea of like these fables and these stories, and then you even look at what they've said about Ivalice and how the story of Final Fantasy Tactics is actually a fable in Garlemald.
Yeah.
I think that we might see them do something else and pull from some other area of Final Fantasy lore and be like, they remind me of that new or of that legend, and now they're going to do it yet again.
The legend returns. Bond's coming back.
But it says returns, which means that's someone that's already been here before and is no longer here.
Okay, well, if it's a legend, then someone shows up, right?
Legend arrives would be a first-time legend. Legend returns means that's someone that was already here and left.
Nika. Let me finish. Someone shows up. They do something crazy. We're all like, who the fuck is this person? And then one of the characters...
The Legend 27 is coming back to Eorzea.
That's it. That's the win right there.
Nice. Love it.
But anyway, Mysterious, and all it takes is one character going, I recall of a legend that used to be told about blah, 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 blah. It looks like they've returned or something. I don't know, some immortal person.
But why would
who
it be someone
knows?
we've never met before, though? That seems weird.
Square fucking Enix.
So I saw suggestions for just now Shantado. Yes, absolutely. The legend returns.
Why?
How about Hildebrand?
Why? No. Okay,
The
so
whole
if
patch
it's
would not be around Hildebrand,
if it's Hildebrand, I'm going to be pissed.
You can't.
It would make no sense because now they're bringing him in the main story.
Yeah.
So wait, well, I mean, is there like a prominent legend in Tactics or something that they,
Why would they have that be in the MSQ though? When they then go on to announce, by the way, Hildebrand's coming back. And the Ivalice stuff, you know what I mean? If they,
the subtitle generally does directly refer to what's happening in the MSQ.
In that specific patch as well.
See, I think that we're gonna find out that a character that we already know is a legend.
Right, that's why I was thinking Estinian.
Estinian?
He was a legend in Ishgard. But he's still around doing shit, though.
Would
And
he
he's finally
matter,
going to
like-
make himself known to us.
I'm not going to discount that we will see Estinian again.
Oh, yeah.
But he was sort of on the fringes of the MSQ, and all that we saw, with him with the eyes and stuff was basically him sort of wrapping up his own personal redemption arc, right? So I'm sure he will come back, but I don't think he's going to be like a major influence. What about Louis Soir?
No, come on, stop it.
Yeah.
No,
as much as I would love
I don't
that,
want. I
that's
wouldn't.
not
I would not
happening.
want it. Giselle.
I'm not asking him if you would want it.
No,
he would fit the bill.
No, I don't
No,
think so.
I don't think so.
I don't see it.
Even if I say like I would want that, I don't think it would happen. That doesn't seem.
Gisela in the chat saying Yida. I could see that a little bit more than fucking Louis Soir.
But Yida wasn't a legend. Her father, maybe.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem. I like all of the Raubon's arms.
Raubon's arm returns.
Just rip off Twin Peaks. That's all you got to do. Because an arm is an entire character unto itself. So just make it a backwards talking midget, and you're fine.
We in the last episode when we were talking about the whole, when we saw Elidibus talking to the Emperor, and he's someone that we know.
It could be whoever that person.
Could be whoever he is.
That's true. Who would that be? I mean, I know that there's already.
but Gaius wasn't really considered a legend.
It depends on the perspective.
Bad guys usually aren't considered. Well, okay.
Yeah, for the
probably
Garleans,
a Garlean legend.
Yeah, from a Garlean's perspective, Gaius might actually have ascended to some sort of legend status. I mean, because Nail by the end of his campaign was fairly infamous amongst the Empire.
And here's something else to consider, too. If the MSQ is focusing on the aftermath of both Doma and Eorzea, what's the one thing that both of them have in common besides us? It's Garlemald.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. I mean, I guess, and legends can be of bad things, too.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Are they still called legends though? I feel like
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, like there's bad legends.
Okay, but are bad people considered legends?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
it's just like an old.
You
tale or
usually use
story.
legendary in more of a positive connotation, but not always.
Yeah, not necessarily always. Legendary is just. I mean, it's more sort of like how widely known you are. I mean, it's like the distinction between.
But we usually just call them infamous, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right,
I was going to say that it's the distinction between famous and infamous, right? Like, I don't think that there is another word on the other side of the coin for legendary. I think you could apply them in both contexts.
The actual definition is a traditional story, sometimes popularly regarded as historical but unauthentic, or an extremely famous or notorious person, especially in a particular field.
And again, I mean, I do feel like it in some way rolls into the themes of Omega, since Omega is basically taking stories from the world of Eorzea and, turning them into fights.
We're not getting any more from Omega now, right? Like, that's 4.2.
It's going to be the next one.
Yes.
That'll be 4.2.
So I don't think, but I'm just saying thematically, it fits in
with
more
what's
with
going on
Omega
and
than the MSQ.
And since they're talking about Ivalice and the FF Tactics story being a Garlemald fable, it kind of starts to fit in with this whole, if the whole expansion's idea is just, let's just take a bunch of FF lore from different games and turn them into fables or legends or tall tales, then it starts to fit in with just about every other fucking thing they've created for this expansion so far.
Yeah, it does. I would be really disappointed if they're just ripping someone out of another Final Fantasy game and throwing them in here. I mean, like...
So would
you're right. It definitely fits the bill for everything that's happened over the last forever, I guess. Like, but what... I mean, come on, there's always something better, right?
I mean, yes, obviously there are better ways to do it, but I also think that there's better ways to have done Omega. Even if they wanted to use FF5 or to do what they did, there are still, I think, better ways to have done Omega.
I figured it out. I know who the legend is.
Oh, no.
It's Squall. After he died at the end of Disc 1, his conscience ended up in Eorzea.
He was brought back by Ultimacia / Renoa the Sorceress.
But instead of bringing him back in that world, she sent him to Eorzea.
Did she come with him?
No.
Oh.
No, that's their eternal tragedy is they never get together.
And that's why we get the Squall cosplay.
Yeah, because that cosplay showed up in that world when he got there.
So you're saying it's on Yoshi P to fix the canon of 8, right? Like, since
No, I'm just saying that he's going to abuse the fact that the canon's already broken.
Well, since Katase went and undid all of the most interesting parts of the narrative, Yoshi P could come in and negate all that by inserting it into FF14.
Yeah, there we go. Great. If Final Fantasy XIV manages to ruin not one but two Final Fantasies for me, I will be so angry that I'll be impressed.
Actually, I would love if there was an FF8 crossover fate where you fight Ultimecia and then she reveals herself's real name as Renoa. I would like that would be hilarious if they ruined the canon and the creators would be like, wait, we said that wasn't true. Like, well, it is in our game.
I was getting ready to jump straight down your throat. However, yes, if they reveal that in a Fate, there's a big fuck you to Katase.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Absolutely, I'm on board. Yeah, if we have to fight Ultimecia in a Fate for some weird ass reason, and then you beat her
because time compression.
Yeah,
because time compression, Escalia.
It worked for 8. Why not? Yeah, so she shows up because of time compression, and you beat her, and she shrinks down into Renoa, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's right, I was Renoa." Listen. Anyway, I have to go catch up with Squall. He's waiting for me in the Time Cross world. That's why I'm showing up 8 hours later, because she came to Eorzea to fight you.
It's not gonna.
Yes. Oh my god, I love it.
It's not gonna.
It's done.
That's what happened to Shantoto. Like, hey, what happened to Shantoto during a Shantoto ascension? She was just gone for a while. She was in Eorzea. It turns out. I love it.
That's true.
Anytime a character has disappeared for any period of time, like that's where
they're in Eorzea.
That's where Gladiolus went in Final Fantasy 15. He was in Eorzea.
No, except his DLC actually explains.
No,
so whenever Nika's not on a show, she's really just in Eorzea having.
She's really just in Eorzea having children. Yeah, she's on the ERP server.
Damn it.
Gross.
Getting it done.
Thanks.
Yeah, okay.
Even Balmung's empty. You want to know how slow things are? Even the role players aren't around.
Is anyone excited for what the MSQ might hold? I mean, the fact that we wrapped up the whole, hey, we saved Doma, we saved Alamigo, and we have no idea where things are really going. Does anyone think there's potential there?
I am.
Yes. I'm actually gonna echo that. Yes, I do think that having a blank canvas or a blank slate for this next round of story is good. It's
been too long since we've had some blank slate to work with.
Yeah, and I think that we had said that a lot in between A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, that it felt like Heavensward was bogged down with all of these dangling plot threads that were left from A Realm Reborn. And I think now that you don't necessarily have all of those and everything feels very resolved, that they could go an entirely different direction with it.
Right.
Now,
right now we have only 2 plot threads that are really working with. We've got the Asians, which are always looming, and the impending escalation of hostilities with the Garleans.
Yes. Well, there's also a third in there as well, and I think it's just the one that they've done the worst job at telling and reminding players of, but there's also Teleji Adeleji in play as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are 3 big plot arcs that they could pick up again.
Wait, the legend. I'm going to go with what the guys were saying earlier. You made a joke about it, about Raubon's arm coming back. Teleji Adeleji has made himself an Iron Man type suit, except it's more like, Gollum made out of rock and stuff, with Raubon's arm on it, and the arm is the legend.
Wow. Oh, I'm sorry, Lolarito Teleji was
that
one.
one.
Lolarito,
They're all the same fucking
Fuck
thing.
off.
They're all
Who
Lalafels.
gives a shit about a Lalafell?
Who was it that made that? Block. I want them temporarily banned. 10 minutes, timeout, nose in the corner.
Teleji was bisected.
I mean, you're not listening. You're not wrong. You're correcting us on Lalafell history, and no one cares about Lalafell history.
Wait, I bet. Masvani, are you a Lalafell? Because if he's not a Lalafell, I don't know, I'll let him off with it. But if he's a Lalafell, get him out of here.
You'll let him off if he is a Lalafell?
No, if he's not.
Oh, if he isn't a Lalafell, I see.
Yeah, because, it's common knowledge. But if he's a Lalafell and he's getting all Lalafelly about it.
Exactly.
Trodoon says
he said he's a Midlander.
Teleji comes back in a giant mechanical spider. Hell yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'd be okay with this.
That is the only way it's okay to have
the legend returns. We've figured it out, guys. Teleji Adeleji is the legend.
Yes. and his giant mechanical scorpion spider.
Specifically.
It's a scorpion spider
Don't attack when its tail's up.
Listen, I'm just saying I'm just saying all you fucking Lalafells look the same. That's all I'm saying.
They do.
They do.
No, they're horrifying.
Anyway.
You know what I noticed about that, Robbie, is the one that's in Alamigo, the fucking NPC says attack when its tail is up.
Does it?
Do you pay attention to that? There's
Yes,
an NPC that like throws. There's an NPC that throws the bomb that like breaks the thing, and he goes, "There's a scorpion around the bend. Don't forget to attack when his tail is up." I'm like,
oh, for God's sake,
that's
amazing.
And he said that's the opposite of actually what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you don't attack when his tail is up.
I mean, granted, the scorpion in this dungeon didn't have that mechanic, but if it did, he would have given us false information.
What a dick move that would have been.
Who pays attention to NPCs?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way that it's
because
phrased in the
Alameda,
original,
yeah.
it sounds like he's telling you to attack when the tail's up, because that's what I did for the first hour that I fought the damn thing in the demo
I paid attention
disc.
when all of the Easter eggs were there because I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, new MSQ coming with 4.1, obviously. New side quests, Hildebrand's coming back. And I think the question here is are they bringing Hildebrand back in a meaningful way, or are we just going to get some half shit out cutscenes and have to go click a place in one of the new zones?
It's like the story was cute, but the thing is
no,
that
it wasn't.
It didn't give us any trials and stuff like the original
No,
one
even
did.
if they had given us trials, fuck those quests. How do you go from being an inspector extraordinaire to being a fucking babysitter?
To being a dad of light.
What's going to happen next? No. Stormblood Hildebrand, the dishwasher.
No, see, and this is one thing where of all the people who was not excited about Hildebrand in the last go-around, it was Juxta. And I gave him a ton of shit because I'm like, you love Hildebrand.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, and it's going to suck. And he was right.
He was right.
Yeah.
And it's going to suck
and
this
time
go-around.
this time I'm like,
I don't know. I thought Hildebrand's story was cute.
Stop it. We didn't even get a fight associated
No,
with
I
that
mean,
question.
I agree. I thought it was poorly executed, but I thought that it was cute.
No, yeah, and overall, that was the thing. It did feel
we
so
had a
like
fight.
Hildebrand
We
to
fought
me.
those like old elves that
we
turned
had
themselves young.
We had an instance fight, a duty, but
Fuck
like
off.
no, that's not what everyone wants. Everyone wants like the fight.
Yeah.
Right.
Like how we had like Ultros
But
or Gilgamesh.
Nika, to your point though, you're right. It did feel like Hildebrand. It's just all the interesting stuff got taken out where you couldn't actually like the fun part about Hildebrand was like the Ultros fight. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a great experience. And like the reason you were doing it was ridiculous. The battle on the big bridge. That was awesome and just the right kind of nostalgia.
Yes. I
This
agree.
time around, like they still had the humor of Hildebrand. It was still there. It's just they took a lot of the intrigue
I think
out.
that's where we should keep the nostalgia. Like, give it to Hildebrand rather than Omega. Like,
that's
if
fine.
Hildebrand-
Yeah.
If Hildebrand had been going through some legend of the FF5, I think that would have been hilarious because you could easily use that.
You could have brought Greg back for that, and he would like, this looks really familiar.
And so having like his story and everyone's word be about the little automaton that looked like Vivi and he had like similar personality to Vivi, I thought was really cute and heartwarming because I like Vivi a lot. But I don't know. They needed to execute it a little bit.
But it served no purpose. Like you had,
it didn't.
You know, like at least in A Realm Reborn, like most of the most of the MSQ was very serious and very focused, and then you had Hildebrand that brought a little bit of levity to the game, and
you needed the comedy. Like,
yes.
like think about what was going on when Hildebrand was happening. You'd had just had this thing with the Black Wolf, and you had Garleans, you had Primals like laying waste to the world. It's like when that finally happened, you had Bahamut coming back and Louis and all that stuff. And then you had Hildebrand, which was completely ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the kind of ridiculousness of Hildebrand has started to leak into things like Omega, where now you're like, oh, it's the Chocobo Dungeon Chocobo. Oh, that's cute. Like, that shit used to be relegated to Hildebrand.
Right.
And
Where
it
it was
was
funny.
okay.
Yeah.
And now I don't know if it's just lazy writing or if they're just not, they're not willing to try anymore. But I feel like, we got like it feels like for some reason they're trying to take that humor and put it into the raids, and I don't know why. Right?
Yeah, I think the raids are much more fun when they're serious and they mean something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, where you actually feel like you're fighting for the fate of the world.
But when you're,
I mean, Omega tells us we're fighting for the fate of the world.
But where in Alexander did you really feel like the threat? Like maybe the last turn. Specifically the last two turns were really well done, but like anywhere where you're fighting against goblins, it was just fucking stupid.
Nothing felt serious in like
No,
it was a serious scene, but with no consequence to it. I didn't feel like if I fail this, the world's gonna end.
I felt like if I fail, then okay, she won't get her boyfriend back. Like,
exactly.
It wasn't like, I don't know. I still think that there was so much more potential to learn about the history of Charlotte and all of that with Alexander being captured there and held there forever. And instead, they ignored all of that potential
Yeah.
lore and history and gave us 2 characters we didn't care about.
It wasn't until A11 and A12 when we saw them actually travel in time with this thing that you start realizing, like, oh, they could do real damage with that.
Right.
Oh, that's a problem. We should stop that.
So what they should have given us was actually how it had affected the place before, but
Wolf-
not through a love story, but through like actual political impactment on the planet.
Wolf 98444 or 98456 suggests pretend the main goblin was Dr. Evil. That will make it better.
I mean, pretty much.
Actually, if you make the main goblin Dr.
kind of.
Evil, yeah, I'm more into that story now. 1 million gil.
Look, the whole thing was just a big build-up for a Schrodinger's cat joke. Like, that's all
really
it was.
He had a cat on his head the entire time anyway.
Yeah, no, it wasn't great. Yeah, you're not gonna get any argument from me, man. I did it. It's the only rating I've done. That's my experience with rating.
Yay!
God damn, dude. Like, that is just so frustrating. All right, well, for those who like Hildebrand, you're going to get more. Don't expect that much.
Please put effort into it this time,
now,
guys.
hold on. Here's a question I had for you guys, because they didn't, even in the live letter, this wasn't like a second point. This was still under like the new quest, blah, 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 Hildebrand stuff. They're introducing the Kojin Beast Tribe quests. So do you think they're going to introduce those through the Hildebrand side quest?
No, I
it
don't
does
think so.
say we tried some different things, so please look forward to it.
That might be a better use for Hildebrand.
Yeah,
at this point,
I would
is to-
agree.
Is to time in
But
with
the
the
thing
beast.
is, are you going to be able to do these Hildebrand quests if you haven't done any of the other ones? Because if there are some people that are like, I don't care about Hildebrand, I'm not going to do them. But it wouldn't be fair to block an entire beast.
Because it
tribe
would be
behind
so
that.
hard to just go and do a bunch of side quests and cutscenes.
Oh, I know, but it
That's
just
all
doesn't
it
seem
is
like
right
they
now.
would do that. That's all.
Yeah, you're right. It wouldn't be in with their track record. That's for damn sure.
I think that if they just started a whole new, fresh storyline, and just had him as a character in there, I can see them doing that.
Yeah, and then maybe
the Kojin,
you get a couple extra like lines of dialogue if you've done all the other Hildebrand.
Yeah, exactly. And the Kojin Beast Tribe specifically are kind of a goofy enough tribe where you could make that work.
Okay,
Yeah, it wouldn't work with the Ananta.
So
you're
he
right.
doesn't become a dishwasher, he becomes a merchant. I got it.
Yeah.
Traveling merch for the Kojin.
Yeah.
No, actually, I don't think that's a terrible use of Hildebrand. If you're not going to give him things like, trials and different fights and like have
throw him in with Beast Tribe?
Yeah, throw him with the Beast Tribe.
I
then. Put him
actually-
there. That's where
I
he
could
should
see
go
him
then.
solving mysteries for the Kojin, though. They don't seem to
doesn't
be
do
able
that
to
anymore.
have
I'd
strong detectives.
I'd be a little bit more inclined to work at doing a Beast Tribe storyline.
I'd actually kind of dig it if they hire him as an inspector for the Kojin. I'd be into that.
Literally the only Beast Tribe quests that I've seen to completion were the Vanu.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's too bad because the bug things, what were they called?
Nath.
The Nath was actually pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah.
If you think about it, like you could make a lot of Indiana Jones jokes that way
Yeah.
if you have Hildebrand as an inspector for the Kojin trying to find like artifacts and bring them back. Yeah. There's room for tons of Indiana jokes. I'm all for that.
Tons of ways to build lore that way too.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna get one new dungeon. We've already known that we were only gonna get
One new dungeon.
We're getting one.
What a load of
It is
garbage.
the
Wait, so
drown.
we're getting one dungeon and then 2 dungeons? So there's our 3 dungeons, right?
There'd be one dungeon this patch, 2 dungeons in 4.2.
Yes.
And
Now
in the last cycle, did we get 3 dungeons every patch?
We got 2 dungeons every patch.
Right, yeah.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Now we're
I
getting
see.
1,
So
2,
we're getting
1, 2,
1,
1.
then 2, then 1, then
Yep,
2. Oh,
yep.
okay. Okay, never
Here's
mind.
the big problem I have with this, because and before anyone dismisses it with like, oh, it's just the way they say it, okay? The way that you say words and the things that they actually type out and put on their website, I guarantee you they think about, or at least they should, right? We have been told that in every odd-numbered patch, we'd get the 1 dungeon, and then at some point, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I remember this wrong, but at some point they said, in quotations, this is me doing quotations, quoting them, and other compelling content. Am I wrong?
They've used that. Yeah, no,
They've
that's
used
what
that
they
before.
said. That was
they
what
would say
they
we
said.
would get that. Also, okay, so that's the one where we get the
Wait, Nika.
So, Eureka.
Because now they're saying that they will use the development time for various other tasks.
It is.
What? No.
Tasks.
That's
It
not
is.
what they said. Nope. I refuse
That's
to
what they
believe
said
it.
this time.
That's what they
absolutely.
said this time.
Liars.
It says that on the thing.
Various other tasks.
I'm in denial. It's supposed. This is. I assume the various other content was less dungeon, more Eureka.
No.
Yeah, no. I don't think that we're getting that trade-off.
No,
it does not sound like we're getting that.
We're getting perform. That's what we're getting. Instead of a dungeon, we're getting perform.
Great. Wait, the drama city of Scala. They named it after me.
You're Escalia.
No, it's fine. Listen, they can't just steal my name. They have to have some change to it.
Scala is not Escalia.
It sounds like scholar to me.
No.
No, it's. I think that's named after
There's
me.
an
I'm going with
I
that.
between the L and the A in your name.
Nah, that's a mistranslation.
Escalia.
No, that's definitely me.
You are really stretching.
Nah, I'll take it. It's close. I'm gonna get. Might as well get something that makes me smile out of this.
So anyway,
Besides, I just got snuffed in a fanfic a while ago. Drown City makes sense.
You lived.
Yeah.
For now, I
Anyway.
sense part 3 will fix that.
So yeah, the Drowned City of Scala is the new dungeon that we're going to be getting. We've seen a couple of.
What does that fit in the lore? Drowned City.
We know literally
somewhere in
nothing
authored
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd assume one of the cities flooded in the fourth calamity.
Could
be.
They show a
That's
few
kind of cool though.
pictures of it, but it doesn't really, I think, provide any real
Yeah, you
context.
don't really get a good sense of where in the world we would be.
Yeah, I mean that could easily be unauthored or a.
Yeah, that could be anywhere.
It literally could.
It's a cave.
Yep.
And the architecture looks it reminds me of Wanderer's Palace.
A little bit.
I don't know.
Well, it's just generic fantasy ruins enough to be literally anything.
It looks very Indiana Jones-esque, actually.
I mean, it does. I don't know. It could. It literally could. It could be anywhere in Eorzea. But
Temple of Ugelipa? Is that where we are?
No.
Looks like Temple of Ugelipa. That's what it makes me think of.
Temple of what?
The Temple of Ugly.
The ugly Pell.
Yeah, I know, but how is he saying?
I don't know. I've never heard
Ugalipa, that's how
anyone
you're supposed
say
to
it that way before.
No, Ugalipa.
Yeah, Ugelipa.
What emphasis are you putting on?
He's putting Ugalipa. He's putting it on the G. So I say Ugalipa.
Yeah, there's 2 G's.
Ugalipa.
There's 2 X's in Jamie Foxx. You don't say Fox.
That's okay. Sure, that's his stage name. He can pronounce however he wants.
Anyway, Royal Menagerie Extreme's coming out.
Oh,
As
really?
we expected.
That's good.
Yeah.
This is one of the few things that I gave SC a lot of props for. Is they didn't nerf Royal Menagerie.
Yes.
Yep. They say that it's gonna sort of fall as far as challenges go, sort of how Thorin's Reign did. You know, people who have beat Dallas Escape Savage version 2.0, but they're struggling with 3.0. It's gonna kind of fall right in between those two.
In between 2 and 3 of rating
of Savage. Obviously.
Of Savage, yeah.
Yep.
That seems about right for a Primal EX.
Now, Aniro actually noticed something about, because when we were watching the live stream, it actually said new Primal,
and then didn't it? It took a second to get.
And then it showed Shinryu, and we were actually kind of confused because we're like, well, he's. I mean,
He's not
I
new.
guess technically he's a Primal, yeah.
He is a Primal, yeah.
But
it's not new. It's just
when we fought him, was he ever fully on the stage, like all 4 feet?
no. He was off the stage.
Yeah.
Okay, because in that screenshot, it definitely looked like there were 4 feet on the stage.
Yeah, it looked like
Interesting.
Yeah,
He's gonna land at
No,
some
I think
point.
the entire time he was flying off the side.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
he
thought
is.
too.
exactly.
Because there's no point where you can surround him. You always have to battle him on the edge.
So
I mean, I saw what looked like 4 feet in there, and
so
it
did
looked
I.
like he was standing on the platform.
Once you pointed it out, that's what I thought I saw too. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, it's going to be
Interesting.
interesting. I don't know. I it might be interesting.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely standing on there.
Okay, I'm not crazy then.
So they could be adding a new phase to the fight then?
The other option is this is the cutscene it's a shot taken out of the cutscene as you're entering, and he lifts off as soon as the battle starts.
Maybe.
But then again, he's got the little like rings underneath his wings going on. I don't know. Yeah, he's definitely standing on the platform.
It does look like it, and I mean, there's a character model on there for scale too.
Boob for Skuro.
Wow.
Wow.
Who
All right.
is Skuro fan club?
Why would you even ask that?
Used to be a Scalia boob person because they always donate $80.08 as the same person that wanted to get you boobs.
Boob.
Love it. We still get to see.
Yeah.
Come on my tits.
Boob. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I can't even get excited for this. I mean, it's gonna be. I'm sure it's gonna be an exciting fight, but I don't ever see myself doing it.
I'll do this. Like I did all 3 of the harder warring triads. So
All right,
I guess that's what this is.
Hold on. Have you done Lakshmi or Susanoo Extreme yet?
Yes, I've done both and cleared both.
Oh, are you gonna do it just to clear it, or like to get?
I'll
your
do
weapon?
it for clear. I'm not going to do it for like the dog or anything. Or is it wolves this time around? Wolves.
They're yeah.
Wolves, yeah.
But they call them doggies.
Doggies, yeah.
Well, you do it for your weapon mostly, I would think.
Sure. Why? For what?
I don't know. Hopefully,
so I can clear the MSQ faster.
It's just that sometimes the primals come out with relevant things, but then if you're raiding, you've already gotten your tome weapon or something, so then the weapons are useless, and what's the point of doing them at that point? Like I didn't clear Zervon until like a couple weeks ago because there was no point in doing it.
I'm Skuro fan club.
Oh.
I'm Skuro fan club.
No, I'm Skuro fan club.
Nobody's Skuro fan club.
Maybe we're all in our own way Skuro fan club.
Okay, it's probably that guy I met at FanFest who told me Skuro was his favorite person on LVR because we always shit on him and he feels bad for the underdog.
Listen, we shit on Skuro a lot. It's worth noting he's a fairly successful streamer in and of his own right.
No, he's not.
No, why would you even say that?
No,
he's
don't give him that much credit.
He's a consistent streamer.
Well, that's more than a lot of us can say.
Yet he still gets less people than us.
No, that's fair.
So there's going to be some new PvP content, Rival Wings, and this is actually this is actually genuinely new PvP content.
It is.
This is kind of okay.
It's going to be the first PvP, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, where it's one side versus the other side. None of this
2v2.
2v2. Yep. It's none of this being split up into the three
not
grand
2v2, but
12, 24v24. Wow, 48
but it's two
people?
sides.
Two sides.
Yeah,
yes.
super cool.
Yep. You'll either be playing as the Ravens or as the Falcons.
All right.
And the big sort
Atlanta versus Baltimore. I'm into it. They'll have a good match this year.
I knew that was coming.
The big sort of thing here, the new thing is that players will be able to ride goblin mechs and do battle. Riding them will grant access to specific actions. They're a very strong machina as well, so if you ride them, you'll be able to use powerful actions, which can be used to turn the tide of battle. So that's sort of like the big gimmick here is I guess there's going to be all types of different vehicles
You get to play
drive.
battle
Since
tech?
the beginning of 1.0, we've always wanted battle on chocobos, and instead they give us battle on mechs. Why can't we have fucking battle chocobos?
Maybe you'll get a battle chocobo in this. Maybe you
it doesn't seem that way.
Maybe you can hop in the Gob Walker, or you can hop on your chocobo and get a lance.
It just seems like it's going to be one giant mini game because when you're in like vehicles, you don't usually have more than 3 actions.
Right. I mean, the most I think you've had is 4.
Yeah.
Listen, Square Enix can never legitimize the name Chocobo Knights because that would make me really sad for that to be an actual reference to something and not just like 9 different people's guild names. Like how many different groups of Chocobo Knights have we known? I mean like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
There were Chocobo Knights in FF10, weren't there? Or 10
there were Chocobo Knights in a lot of games, but for them to actually do it, I'm kind of with Nate.
I'm just saying
they did it after us.
Yeah, they just can't legitimize it in a Final Fantasy Online game.
Yeah, it has to only ever be in. It's like they can't bring
Tactics. That was in
Tactics. She's right. It was in 10. Where else?
Who cares? That's not even worth it. It's not worth it.
Fair enough.
It was in like the opening cutscene of 1.0 or something, or of 2.0 something. There was people riding on chocobos.
Oh, they were called the Crusaders in FF10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rival Wings is patch 4.15, right?
Type 0 had Chocobo Knights.
But PvP content literally just means players are facing other players, right? So technically, Lords of Verminion also counts as PvP content, correct?
Technically, yeah.
Using the loosest possible definition. No, actually, Nika, I'm sorry. It doesn't because there's not either player. It's just V. It's just V content. No players actually showed up for that. Sorry.
But I mean, just looking at this where it just says you're in 2 teams, Ravens and Falcons, players are riding mechs and do battle. This does sound like a minigame, which to me, I feel like people aren't going to really play. Like
They'll
it's not
play
actual
if they get their
PvP
tomes
where
out
you're
of
not
it.
using maybe.
Yeah,
but you're
no,
not
they
like
give
using
tomes.
you're not using your job, you're not actually.
Well, see, it depends. If everybody gets to be in a battle mech, then yeah, probably not. But if the battle mech is something that if they just show up periodically throughout, and it's sort of like how when the giant crystal lights up during all the other PvP stuff, and whoever destroys it gets the most stuff.
That's true because it's if you ride them, so that sounds like.
Well, yeah, if it's like the first person who gets to it, that gives like a huge advantage to their side.
Sure.
Then I think they will.
It's like Halo. There's vehicles on the map. You can get anyone if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes it sound
that I would like a lot more.
Because having 48 vehicles,
that would be chaos.
Absolute chaos.
Maybe it'd be for the best.
It might actually be something people play.
I don't know, man.
Play PUBG?
I definitely wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't.
Hey, if you can get 40 to 60 tomes in 10 minutes.
Okay, maybe I would.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, if it's just that there's some vehicles scattered around, you can hop in them if you want, and they have cool buffs and stuff, I'm into that. That's a cool format.
It's not bad.
Although, if it is primarily vehicle-centric, then I guess all those PvP buffs that they did are ostensibly useless at this point.
Oh, you know what? You were saying, yeah, the problem with the vehicles is that there's usually only 4 buttons you can press. PvP, not so different, as it turns out. Interesting. Maybe they've been setting us up for this all along.
Maybe.
Square Enix playing the long game.
Hate you.
But that's coming 4.15, right?
It is, actually,
Okay,
yeah. We're planning to release this around 4.15, which means we're probably not getting Eureka at 4.15.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 4.15, the off patch is usually like that's where we would get like an anima if we were going to get one.
Yeah, but they usually don't do like release multiple things on those off patches.
Right, no,
it's
we're
usually
gonna
dedicated to just one thing.
I don't know. I think that they've put out a PvP mode at the same time as they've put out an anima.
They have. The feast will reset at the same time.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah. I can see it.
Some battle system related stuff they talked about. They said obviously they're going to continue to make job adjustments. The Crystal Tower will finally be adjusted, so it can be challenged with 1 tank, 2 healers, and 5 DPS, just like the other Alliance raids.
Because that used to be 2 tanks, right?
Am I just lost? Is they hadn't fixed that yet?
No, you still need.
It should have happened a fucking year ago.
2 tanks, 2 healers,
Oh
4
my
DPS.
God.
I'm sorry.
3 alliances. And 3 alliances.
But you still there's no. I think you still need 3 alliances for this.
No, I think the way that they're doing this now is so that you can just go in it as.
But this one is the one that has things where you have to split up and stand on the things. There's no way you can do it without 3.
Yeah, but they did announce that because of this, they will finally have a raid roulette.
Hey! It only took you 2 years, but you got there.
It's
you did
insane that it's taken this long.
Not as insane as it's taken them to do
That's
another
gonna
thing
make it
we're
so
going to
much
read
more
about in a
relevant.
minute here.
Oh.
But the thing is that
yeah.
raid roulette is not going to be on sync, so that's going to be that'll be interesting too.
Hey, throw some tomes, throw bonus tomes on it, and people will do it, and you'll see people in
Absolutely.
Crystal Tower again.
You're right.
True.
I agree.
No,
Yeah, it'll be
you're-
nice to
you're
have
right.
something else to look forward to on the roulette than just expert 50 to 60 leveling trial.
Yeah,
That is
absolutely.
true. Well, but
Give me a
that's
fifth
the thing though, is that like we've known that for so long. Like that grind of dungeon, trial,
Dungeon.
and then maybe like if the raid is still relevant, you'll go through the 4 raid.
Or if the gods
Once
are
a week.
kind, your leveling roulette gives you Ifrit, and you're like, yes,
Oh, thank you. Right.
the happiest day.
You know what else I need to go back and fix, though? The fact that the MSQ roulette still just gives poetry.
Yeah.
Does anyone actually do that for any reason?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
I mean, poetics are kind of worth it now that you actually get the level 60 gear with poetics. Like you buy everything with poetics that's not current patch or like current expansion.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
everything from Heaven's Word now is also poetics.
Yeah, they have done that, and I mean, maybe it'll come into play when with one of the anima steps this time around. I don't know, but no, right now I'm not farming up poetics.
Well, you
for
can.
nothing.
I mean, you can fly through.
But the thing is, you
anima
still
steps
get
now.
poetics so easily from the other roulettes. Like I'm buying like every job that I had at 60 and that I didn't have the gear ready to go. I've already purchased it, and they're now ready to go.
The idea for me behind getting people to go into these roulettes is so that people who are leveling, or in MSQ's case, people who are working through the MSQ can actually get it done, right? So if you want to incentivize people to do the MSQ, you need more than just poetics in there, Nika. People like me and Nate, or me and Anira, who only do one job, don't ever need poetics ever for anything in the history of anywhere.
Yeah, no, and it doesn't take a lot. Just throw some whatever the current tome is.
20 tomes, boom.
20 tomes. People, hey, guess what? People will do it. You can get through most of those raids pretty quick nowadays.
Yeah.
You'll do it.
Absolutely. It does not take very long to get through like a labyrinth these days.
No, absolutely not. But if you throw 20, 30 tomes on there as a bonus for doing it, no problem. I would do it.
I would gladly jump in there on Reset Tuesdays, definitely.
I mean, it'll be nice to throw this into the rotation for sure.
Yeah, just not having the same, like, I'm doing my roulettes, and everyone knows exactly what that means. It means the exact 4 dungeons you're going to.
The Lost Canals of Uznair update. This is going to be our expansions version of the Aqueducts.
It is.
But we already have this in the game, so
We do? Wait, the Lost Canals of Uznair?
yeah.
Yeah.
And Aquapolis is what you're going for.
Yeah, it's basically
it's
Aquapolis.
already in the game.
Yeah.
Wait, so Aquapolis is called the Lost Canals of Uznair?
No, the new one.
For Stormblood areas,
The Stormblood one is.
Oh, they're already there. I didn't know that.
Oh my god.
Have you not? Okay, no. You
Have I not done Aquapolis in Stormblood? No, obviously I haven't.
No, you've clearly never done a single map.
Not in Stormblood, no.
Neither have I.
I did it when it first came out last, for the last expansion.
That's
I
like
maybe
the
did
best
it
way to
2 or
make
3
money.
times. No.
Money for what?
It's not the best way to make money. The best way to make money is to have people give it to you. I can speak from experience with my 40 mil.
Listen, Nika, you can do absolutely nothing in this game and still make money.
I don't know. I've got 30K right now.
You can do your. Wow. What are you spending money on?
I'm leveling all my crafts.
$4.5 mil.
Oh,
I know.
see,
I started with 8 mil, but I'm buying all the crafting turn-ins to get them all until 70.
Yeah, well, that'll do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm almost there. I only have 2 more to go.
So, okay.
Well,
here's
what-
I'm not doing that. Therefore, I'm not poor.
So while exploring the lost canals of Uznair, players will have a chance to obtain a new map. After exiting the canals, decipher the map to delve deeper into the submerged chambers. Their players will be challenged to put their greed to the test. For example, it'll ask if you would like to double down and such. We're aiming to make it so it can be played casually with everybody. Well,
Wait,
Ocarina is always that way.
So now instead of
it's like,
just
okay, you can go forward and you can double everything you've won or lose it all.
Let it ride.
Let it ride. I love it.
I fucking
that I will do. I want to go do that.
I'm
now.
actually into this. I'm into this.
This
I
is
wish
2 expansions in a row. Aquapolis has been the thing I'm most happy about.
But I wonder if you have to get to the final chamber to get that, or if you can randomly obtain it.
I think that probably look the first area is gonna be like it normally does. Get as far as you can. You get this special map. Now it's just not about getting as far as you can. If you get to the next room, double what you have so far. But if you don't, you lose everything.
Yeah, because right now you just leave with whatever you have. In this place, you can go if you want, but in this one, every room, double your money or go home with nothing.
I don't think you'll lose what's already in your inventory.
I
This
think
stuff
you will.
drops to other people's inventories too, and if it's your map, I don't know. I feel like what would happen is you can double the next room or make the next room have 0 treasure in it.
Oh, that could be too. Because you're right. The rooms give you the treasure at the completion.
Yeah.
How would they set that up?
Yeah.
They'd have to do it like you get
they could
temporary
do-
spoils.
yeah,
or
they-
something like that.
they
It
could do
says
a temporary
but it
loot
does-
pool.
See, but it also says dive deeper into the submerged chambers. It makes it sound like you go into a different area and that the rules there could be totally different.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's the thing is that if they can make up new rules for this second area, then they could do a temporary loot pool where they're like, do you want to let it ride? And so you'd
Or
have to
drop it
clear
to
the first
everybody,
chamber and get the first loot pool, and then be like double or double or
maybe,
nothing.
Maybe you finish the 3rd floor and you see the item that you want. And you're like, that's what we're here for. That's what we're looking for.
And
End it.
stop. So you stop.
Call it now. Let's drop the inventory and let's go. We're good. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, you just let it sit in the pool and then decide if you want to get more or stop.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm a little excited for something.
Yeah, that's
something I want to do.
Seems a little bit more exciting than how so far it's been a complete carbon copy of Aquapolis.
I'm gonna buy some maps.
So it's the first piece of content they've actually changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
far, it's legitimately a carbon copy of Aquapolis.
And
just prettier rooms.
Well, it builds on what the system was before, though. Like, this is the first time that I feel like this and actually probably the Adventurer Squadron update, where I feel like they've meaningfully built on a system that they laid groundwork for. I feel like
I really want to see what the next Palace of the Dead is like, because that will really prove if they're building on something or not.
Yes, I you know what, I agree with that, but I think like the seed of the idea was there with Diadem and the Diadem Ventures, the airship ventures, right? Like, they had built one system and that was sort of the foundation for the whole thing, but then like it didn't in a real way transfer over to how you access Diadem because you had the public stuff.
Right.
So there was no barrier for entry there. And I mean, I know we're going to be talking a lot about barrier for entry when it comes to Ultimate Savage, because that is the primary thing that people are upset about. But I think that there has to be some kind of barrier for entry, not something as drastic as Ultimate Savage, but some barrier for entry that the base foundation provides. Here it's basically RNG. Do you get a map out of the final room of your of your Uznir run or not.
Right.
And I'm pretty okay with that.
Hell
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, if I signed up to, if someone was like, hey, Aniro, come do a map with me, and, we got a portal, and it was like, hey, let's do one of these, and then another map dropped, I'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's
go.
keep going.
Yeah.
And so, like, to build on top of that structure, I think is a good idea, and I wish that Square Enix did more stuff like that with 14.
Yeah, why be afraid to let something be hard to get to? No need. Like, that's exciting. Like,
and it's a minor barrier for entry.
Yeah, and what it does is it makes you feel like if I'm not doing Aquapolis, I'm missing out on my chance to be getting into this deeper level.
But unfortunately, that's the thing that they want to avoid at all costs, the feeling that someone's missing out on something.
Well, I don't know. When you look at Ultimate Savage, I think that they may be deviating from that thought, although I think they're doing it in maybe the worst possible way.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I don't think
we'll
so.
get to that, but no,
We'll get there.
agree with Nate here, or Nir on this one. Speaking of the Adventurous Squadron update.
I need to call for a drop, the don't use my real name drop. Where is it?
Do we still care about that?
It's going to take him forever to find it.
No, I mean, I
not
don't.
See at the beginning of the show,
But it's a funny drop. You should have it.
At the beginning of the show, Juxta actually commended you on your drop game thus far.
I saw
And then
that.
it just tapered off.
Yeah.
Like, it just went into nothing.
It's like when I wanted to go out on a high note.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I'm happy with where I was at.
You're
Get ahead
terrible.
and quit when you had. Square Enix should have learned that lesson.
But this is now twice that you've called me.
I know.
Stop fucking up.
So they're introducing the Dungeon Exploration, which is for the Adventurous Squadron.
Thank God there is no Juxta. He has Big Bertha to take care of, so less of him. Smile.
Big Bertha.
Big Bertha is actually Small Bertha, though. And not just because it's a baby. This is a small baby.
All right, don't use my real name is not under the phrase, don't use my real name.
Find it.
I don't know.
Oh. Well, good luck, fuck it.
So they're adding more dungeons.
Good luck, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Ferget. Fuck it. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
Finally going to let us take these adventures into dungeons. From the way that it's kind of worded, though, it's probably not going to be a whole lot of dungeons, and we obviously don't know the extent of doing this. But there are apparently going to be a limit break specifically for the Adventurous Squadrons, and they're obviously increasing the level cap. Cool. And Glamour for your squadron will be unlocked level 51, so you, too, can have an entire squadron full of cat girls in bunny suits.
Bite me.
I love how it says players are strong, so please help support your squadron members through these challenges. So
Yeah.
basically, we're babysitting and taking them through. And
Yeah.
we were so excited to take them through because we thought they'd be able to help us do solo content. No, we're basically carrying them through it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
That doesn't sound right to me. We wanted help.
This is like the Lords of Verminion of this patch.
I definitely feel like this is literally, in Square Enix's eyes, like the reason to do this will just be for the challenge. And the line that makes me think that is we'll add more dungeons that can be challenged in future updates. It's just about, hey, how far can you get with your squadron?
Yeah.
We'll probably get a couple thousand gil, maybe some tier 5 or 6 materia at the end of it. Maybe they'll have some specific glamour or minions that can be bought in the cash shop later.
Oh, God.
I mean, I at first when I saw this, I was like, okay, yeah, Square Enix, let's just make your MMO, your multiplayer game, easier to play as a single player. That makes a total sense. Sure, it's 2017 and
that's
down is up and nothing makes sense anymore. So sure, fuck it, why not? Throw it in the fire.
It's a great thing to do if your game's 11 years old and has a population of 20 people.
Right.
11 looking at you. Good
Right.
job.
Yeah.
Trust was an awesome idea for you.
Well, and the fact that game was unplayable solo. But I mean, the fact like we've had rising level caps for every expansion that we have. We have rising eye levels with every expansion that we have, and we can already challenge content unsynced. Okay, so that challenge, that quote unquote challenge, that already exists. All right, so I don't think I buy that in any way, shape, or form. But Kahlo, you just said something interesting that made me think that maybe I had misjudged this content, and maybe that this is something that, like your squadron brings to you instead of you saying, I want to queue up with my squadron. If it were the other way around and your squadron comes to you and was like, hey, we've got to do Tamtara today. That's our squadron goal, and you have to queue up with them to Tamtara. Now, granted, I think that it just makes the whole concept like it's equally still as dumb as it was the other way, but it adds at least a little bit of like, no, we're not making this a single player game, but that this is an additional task that you want to do on a daily or weekly or whatever basis.
I might actually be into doing that kind of thing, because the way that I look at it is like, all right, let's go Poke Squadron. That's essentially what you are. You are my Eorzean Pokemon, and I'm, I'm training you and raising your level to be able to do stuff. But with Square Enix, what it's always going to come back to is why. Why am I doing that? Am I doing it just for the sake of saying that I've done it, or what kind of rewards are you going to have? Because
AIDS!
That's your reward.
Doing it for AIDS. Great. I love doing Deep Dungeon, but once you got to floor 200, or once you got to the top, what was the point of doing it? Because the rewards that came out of there were pretty crappy.
Yeah, they sure were. Got an earring.
Oh, boy.
No,
it drove down the prices of the primal weapons. I guess that was cool. I mean, crafters might think otherwise, but who gives a crap about them?
Who cares what they think? No, I don't see a purpose to a system like this that isn't like where in a game that isn't where Final Fantasy XI's at. That is a game that is fundamentally unplayable without a group.
Yeah.
And there's no one to play with.
Now to anyone in the chat that still thinks that the whole adventure idea is going to be that we can take them into dungeons, the fact that they're only going to have a few dungeons available and that they'll add more to challenge as we go means they have to redesign these in a way that they work with the squadrons.
I don't know. I could see. Well, it could be the development of more AI, right? Like they're deploying them with easy dungeons that have easy mechanics so that they can continue to spaghetti code the AI together as more dungeons get added.
I can see that.
Yes, totally, Nika.
Okay.
I could totally see that. I don't know what they're going for, though. And I think that, like, again, Kahlo, you bring up a great point. Why am I doing this? If Square Enix is saying, look, you've got to care about your own squadron, there's a great chance I'm never going to see any of this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I could not care enough. I couldn't care an iota about the fucking squadron when it served no purpose. And now that it does have a purpose, like I was like, oh, okay, so I got to catch up leveling my adventurer squadron. But I think that you bring up a great point that unless we know definitively what we get out of it, tomes or experience or money or whatever it is, without knowing the reward, it's hard to want to invest myself in any of this shit. So, I think there's a big difference whether you would be allowing them to go along with dungeon runs, because then you could sit there and basically solo queue for dungeons all goddamn day if you're good enough with your squadron, or whether it's a daily task, or whether the amount of times you're allowed to queue with your squadron is limited per day. That I think, I
believe, because there is a stamina system with the squadrons. We do know that.
All right.
There wasn't in leveling them up.
So, okay, so then, yeah, that does make some semblance of sense that it would be limited the amount of times that you'd be able to take them out.
There's a stamina system? I've been still, working on mine very slowly, and it's just, you can only deploy them every so many hours. It's not like a stamina.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. You can only deploy them every so often.
No, it's more, it's because they're on a journey already. They're on an hour-long mission, and as soon as they come back, you can deploy them on another hour-long mission. It doesn't, or 18 hour long.
The only thing that it limits you is there's 3 tiers of missions, and with the 3rd tier, you can only do each of those missions once per week.
Yeah.
But as soon as they come back from their mission, you can deploy them again.
You can just send them right
on
back
an hour mission, just not on the third, the long mission again, right?
I don't know how long. I only do it once a week
actually
anyway.
Longer. They're they're 12-hour missions or something.
Each mission's 8 hours, yeah.
Yeah, or 8 hours, something like that. There's a long amount of time, but as soon as they come back, you can deploy them again.
Yep.
It's just, except for, I guess that one that's only a weekly, but the rest of them are just
No, yeah. Hazard in the chat is right. Right now, they are literally just ventures with no good reward.
Yeah. Now, I'll say this. Playing a DPS, if I can get one day where I can have my squadron and I can go into my X roulette and get my X roulette done off having a squadron instead of having to wait in a 30-minute queue.
DPS in your squadron,
hell yeah.
Don't hold. Actually, on second thought, hold your breath.
Hold your breath. I want to see you die.
All right, the next thing on their list was talking about the housing updates. They said, sorry for the wait. It's finally calming down, so we'll begin the sale of plots in Shirogane along with the patch 4.1 release. So obviously they're not going to open the servers before the scheduled patch 4.1 maintenance time. Please keep this in mind. They said players will be able to swim in all residential areas. For Limsa Lominsa, there's already a beach, so not much change there. Shirogane was built with swimming in mind from the beginning. So they said they will be making changes to the maps for both the Goblet and the Lavender Beds. The Goblets will have a Roman-style pool. Imagine a pool that nobles might play in.
Oh my.
Oh, let's go down to the bathhouses.
Oh, good.
Oh, yes. Ascalia, let's go to the bathhouses, and then afterwards we'll go to the vomitorium.
The vomitorium?
The vomitorium. That's so...
How droll. I find it delightful.
When they say the Roman
Chauncey,
bathhouses,
more chocolate, please.
all I can think of is the season finale of Spartacus, where everyone was in the bathhouse and basically everyone gets slaughtered and there's just blood fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
no, normally it's more like a lot of hand jobs going on.
Yeah.
Well, it was
irrelevant of gender or age.
It was an orgy to start, but then it turned into a bloodbath.
So it was a blood orgy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of normal in a Roman bathhouse.
I want other Roman features. I want a place where you can bury someone up to their neck, and then a giant machine that cuts their head off drives by.
What about fire
like that.
ants? You just pour fire ants on them.
Was that Roman?
Was
Did
that
they do
Roman?
that?
We can. I'm just saying, I want to do that.
I mean,
okay.
I will say that the Romans were pretty advanced in the ways that they were able to kill and torture people. I mean, they were pretty good at it.
Yeah, they were very
not
good
bad.
at it.
They were not bad. They were not
What
bad at
ancient
all.
civilization was bad at it, though?
I don't know.
answer's none of them.
Those Mayans turned it into a fucking game, man.
That was some high stakes blitzball going on down
know,
there.
right? Like, if you
lose, you get sacrificed to the gods.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Win, your team captain gets sacrificed to the gods.
If you lose, it means that they have to, like they actually understood what a loser is, right? Like
Unlike Square Enix.
There was no fucking like losers trophies. There was no participation trophies.
No,
you
get to appease the gods if you lose.
That's right. Yeah, you got to wake up to see another day, and the demons that infested your loser body didn't get to be released.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Like that. I think that. Yeah, the Mayans were pretty okay at that.
Yeah, I thought they were very good.
Anyway, so yeah, no, I love the idea of Roman bathhouses being injected into the goddamn
into where we live, of course.
Yes, of course. Just make
we have to make our house. We have to make it like Caligula now. Like
yes, exactly.
we have to get as close to Caligula as we can.
Well,
Here's
and
the challenge.
the bathhouses were traditionally located in or near the slums, so that you didn't have unseemly things going on around high class people.
Here's the challenge with remodeling the house like that is you have to communicate what that looks like to Juxta.
He's never seen Caligula?
yeah.
No, he probably's never seen Caligula.
Come on. This is Juxta we're
Fair
talking
point.
about. Anyway,
It's half porn. Literally, the movie started as a Roman epic and got turned into a porno halfway through.
Okay, you might be able to sell them with that.
That's what that movie is.
It is. Yeah.
For the Lavender Beds, we imagined a stream in the woods. And
wow,
Much
so
less
glad I
cool
don't
than
live in the
a-
lavender beds anymore.
That is
Dear
just
God.
depressingly
Why?
sparse.
Like I started in Gardania. Why is my city always so goddamn boring? They're boring with everything.
I'll tell you.
I'm moving to Limsa. It's official. I'm
They
moving.
also said we would like to introduce them in the next live letter from the producer. The next letter from the producer live covering part 2 of patch 4.1. So that's a confirmation for a second live letter or a second half of patch. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Crafting, gathering, and item updates.
Ooh.
Continuing from Zloey, we are introducing a new custom delivery client. Along with this, the weekly
Go
delivery
to
cycle,
hell,
blah, blah, blah,
Zloey.
blah.
Actually, that's the easiest way to get scripts. It's pretty simple.
Great. Well,
I'm just saying that Zloey's a whore.
What? She works at an orphanage and helps little kids. Please stop. Like, no, go away right now.
I love that she works in an orphanage. I don't know why that's so
She
funny to me.
runs an orphanage for all of the abandoned children.
I got it.
Runs an orphanage by day, but is a call girl at night.
No.
That's why she helps no, Nika, you're missing. It all makes sense. If she helps at the orphanage, it's because she's a whore and she's had so many illegitimate kids that she can't actually claim that go to the orphanage and the only way to spend time with them is by helping out at the orphanage.
She's driven by her guilt.
She's not
You guys,
that old.
you guys are all missing it. She handles all the crafting, and she runs an orphanage. Oh dear.
Oh, and she also
child
child labor.
It's definitely child labor.
It's all child labor.
Sure is.
Except everything that is required is literally just from you. She exploits you to help the orphanage.
Child
She's like,
sex
working
labor.
so hard, but
you think
really,
she's just exploiting you, Nika?
Raven Strato says she's trafficking little kids.
Yeah,
That too.
exactly. Yeah,
She's a mastermind.
Oh, you weren't able to get enough shoes cranked out this week?
All you
Interesting.
crafters out there in Eorzea, you're helping child sex trafficking by completing ventures or whatever the fuck you're doing.
Child
For
labor
Slowy.
/ child porn. Literally 2 bangs for a buck.
No.
That's what.
No, she says.
No.
She's on the run from the Eorzean law.
Child labor is legal in Final Fantasy. That is historically accurate.
What say you, Nika?
I say you're all wrong and jerks and complete assholes. So. Let her run an orphanage and do her good in the world, okay? People
Okay,
can
that's what she's
like to
doing.
help kids without being horrible, horrible people.
Yeah, they can, but they generally don't.
That is untrue. That is extremely untrue.
No,
Generally,
no.
people don't like to help kids out of the goodness of their heart.
Nika,
No, get out
Nika,
of here.
that is a really, I mean, that's a really judgmental thing coming from you, saying that a whore is automatically a bad person.
That's not what I said. You guys said she was sex trafficking the kids.
All
That's what
I
I was saying is
did
a
was
bad
say that she's a whore, which means that she is partaking in the oldest profession known to man.
And
But
most
she's
successful.
Not. She gets her money.
You know, if it wasn't for whoring, okay,
Whoring.
the American West would have never been able to flourish. Okay,
I didn't say
you would have
whores are
had.
bad
You would have
people.
had.
I said she doesn't
You
sex
would have
traffic
had.
kids.
You would have had the saddest old gold miners jerking each other off. It just dry with no courtesy of spit or lube, nothing.
Oh no!
It would have been miserable. And the American West would have never been able to survive. They would have been crushed by the Indians. No, it was the whores that went out there and made those encampments actual fucking cities. They made economies.
Yay for whores.
I never said that Zoe was a bad person for being a
She
whore.
had child labor laws and sex trafficked children.
I never said that.
That is what I was referring to.
I never said that. I was reading the things in the chat room. That's what the chat room was saying.
That's
All
what
I
you're
did
referring to.
was call her a whore, which means that she has sex for money. There's
where
no
do you
judge.
have any
There's no
proof of
judgment.
that?
There's no you can't prove that she's not. There's no judgment in there. There's no judgment in that
Except that
statement.
you can walk in there at any time of day and she's standing there. So try again.
Yeah, she just happens to be off
You're
the
right.
clock at that point.
By that logic, no one in Eorzea eats or sleeps or ever fucks. Actually,
Nor do they
Probably
poop.
not.
nor do they poop.
I don't think people in this world have
I really
biological systems like we
Can
do.
we make an MMO where NPCs have pooping schedules?
Well, you know, in Ark Survival Evolved, you have to defecate.
You do.
There's a button for it.
There's a poop button.
There's a poop
How
button.
am I not playing this game
I mean,
right
and
the
there are
fuck
some
now?
games where, like, at nighttime, the characters actually go to sleep and you wake them up, like one-player games. Why doesn't that happen in MMO?
No, when me and stupid Juxtaposition played that game, he would fill up our limited space in our fucking storage bin with his fucking poop.
I was about to say, like,
I'd come back and the food would be on the ground and there would be poop in that box.
And like, but was there also an option to like poop into a toilet space?
No, you just pooped on the ground.
You're on literally an island at this point.
I
There's
mean,
no toilet.
you could make yourself like
Or,
a poop
like-
closet and
Yeah,
throw it in
yeah,
there.
you could have a shit
Or could you
closet
like
if
just
want.
poop in the water and
You could.
Well,
you
here's the
shouldn't.
thing: if you didn't press the poop button, eventually
You just went.
it came
would
out.
die.
Wherever
It just
you
went.
were.
It just came out.
No, that's
Okay.
Yeah, no, Aniro, this is a game where, in fact, if you want, you can murder someone and shit on their corpse.
I like this game.
Oh man.
I need to be.
What game is this?
This
Ark.
is Ark Survival Evolved.
Juxtaposition in the chat. Suddenly, it's so true. Let's move on to system updates, guys.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so we're finally getting to that various other tasks.
We
So-
can move on from that stupid whore Zoe. Zloe.
Zloey.
Sorry.
Who's also a good person, by the way.
She's a very good person.
The very good person, but also stupid whores Lily.
Yeah, in fact, she does. I think she does more for Eorzea than Nika does, who just stands around AFK all the time.
What?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, she provides 2 important services. Orphanage and whoring. Okay.
And scripting. And
Okay.
scripts.
Yeah, the 3 important
She's a
services.
multitasker.
That's right.
If she can do makeup, she could do 4. She could be an esthetician, too.
Okay.
She's a whore. I assume she can do makeup.
Yeah, right? Like, you need a quick... Get it done.
Okay.
That did not sound like makeup.
I was saying, was that a hand job, defecation, or makeup? Which was that?
Hey, I think it could have been 2 of those things.
I'm going to leave it up to your imagination.
Hand job and makeup, defecation and makeup.
Ew. Pretty gross.
Could be all 3.
Well, it's supposed to be good for your skin.
You could be squeezing poop out of a makeup tube. Could be
Okay,
that.
can we move on, please? Like, this is too... No.
Jerking off.
St. Cooper wants us to clarify.
Done,
Is it
done.
a orphanage? Is that what it's called now?
I love it.
Come on down to Chloe's orphanage. For literally all your needs. You can have
my
sex
God.
and get a child. And maybe another child.
Spoiler alert to what next week's commercial is going to be.
Oh my God. Juxta, get on it.
You're on it, yeah.
Oh, Nika has to read it. All right. All right. So earlier we mentioned this new thing that they're putting in, which I think that we have correctly identified that because we're not getting a dungeon, we're getting this. And it is the new system called Perform. This is a Bard-specific action unlocked at level 30, so if you want it, level your Bard to level 30.
Okay.
Individual music notes will be added as actions, which can then be assigned to hotbars so you can play these notes.
This is what I wanted in 11 on Bard. I wanted you to be able to make songs.
But there's a stipulation.
Oh.
In the future, we would like to gradually add more at-home-like content similar to this.
Yeah.
New instruments will be slowly added over future updates.
Okay.
However, please make sure to perform music that is FF14 related.
No.
We don't mind.
Are you stupid?
Yeah, keep going.
We don't mind if you're using it for personal use. However, if songs and music from other titles are being recorded and uploaded frequently, we may have to remove the feature.
Oh.
See, now... Oh,
Okay,
God, this
guys,
is so stupid. Like,
LB Army. Yeah. We're
calling on you guys.
LB Army, we now have a collective goal.
Yeah.
It is going to be our job to play as many copyrighted songs and upload them to YouTube as humanly fucking possible.
The thing is with systems like this...
And hang on, Nika, I wasn't done.
Okay.
Okay? Because the first round of songs has to be the full album from Power Man 5000. The whole thing from beginning to fucking end. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to send it to Spider, whatever the fuck his stupid name is, Rob Zombie's little brother, and I'm going to send him each individual track on Twitter with a message that says, suck my taint.
Oh my God, do it under different accounts.
Oh, I'll do it. I'll
yes,
absolutely,
guys.
I would also recommend anything Nintendo related.
Anything Nintendo. Go ahead and post that up.
But
I would appreciate some Dino tracks. I would much like to have the Dino tracks recreated.
Dino tracks would be good.
I want
Prince
this
songs?
feature. Prince songs. Oh my God, yes.
Prince songs for sure. Beatles music.
Just a small town girl.
Yeah, no, I want this feature removed, and I want them to say, thanks to Limit Break Radio, this feature has had to be pulled out of the game.
Yes, it is.
But the coolest thing about features like this is the ability to figure out what you can do with it.
Yes.
Like, that's why I love like seeing people's Minecraft worlds that they build when people will recreate entire maps of other video games in Minecraft. Like, that's cool.
Someone made a functional city of Rapture from BioShock in Minecraft.
Exactly.
They did
Totally
this,
awesome.
They actually did that. Someone did that in Fallout 4 too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So like a system like this would be so cool to see and stretch what possibilities you can do in this and make the craziest songs ever. I think that would be fantastic.
Mario Paint has full libraries
Yes.
dedicated to songs created in Mario Paint.
Yep.
If
And
they
Mario
can get
Paint
away with
did
it, so can we.
I think so too. I think Square Enix, as long as there was some kind of like legal way to upload it with a disclaimer on it that this is fan created content, I think they'd be fine, right?
I want a FF14 version of Afro Man's Because I Got High. All
my
right,
God, I forgot about that one.
dude, I could, there's so many good songs that you can do in FF14 that will get you in legal trouble.
I was gonna make a song, but then I got high. Instead, I just hit my bong, and then I got high.
I'd like to do a limit-breaking music that is nothing but perform songs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, that would be
yes,
awesome.
we will do a full limit break. We will do a 2-hour limit-breaking music of music from this.
But the thing is that the community has got to follow through and make all of these incredible covers.
Yes.
Because
Yeah, hopefully people don't chicken out.
Because we ain't playing no shitty music.
that's right.
Look at you, Scurro. You fuckhead.
Okay.
I just a personal request. Could someone do a cover of either Cannibal Corpse or Anal Cunt? One of those two bands, that would be amazing.
Also, I'm curious if, in ways to like harmonize with other players, is it possible to play a riff and then group pose and have them all play at the same time? Because that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, if you could have like a band playing effectively.
Yeah.
And that way you could record like multiple people. At the
How
same time.
annoying would it be if when someone's performing, everyone around can hear it?
This is totally gonna backfire because now we're gonna get nothing but level 30 bards that show up to the show and just play
their
music
fucking
at us.
music.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know how excited I am for this?
This is probably the best feature of the patch.
This makes this patch worth it.
I
Right
just
here.
don't understand why they're being such a stickler. If they just had a way to click an upload button that had a disclaimer, they'd be fine.
It
Shit
should
like
just
this
follow
happens
their
all the time.
parody.
Nika,
It should.
here's another alternative theory to that. Square Enix has to say that. Their legal team said, you need to say this. Otherwise, we're vulnerable. Now they've said it, they can just turn the other cheek.
Yes, that is. You know what? That's probably a good point.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, they had to cover.
They can now go into court and say, "Hey, we said no. That's not allowed."
But I still think that we should try.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that we should see how far we can push it.
Like, do they really not have the copyright for us to play other FF music?
Oh, we can play other FF music.
No,
oh.
I mean, but like, how is this FF14
They
related?
did. They
We can't play
specifically
like
did.
Dragon Quest, other Square Enix things. Just 14.
Well, to be fair,
Play
lots
the
of-
Mario Brothers theme.
There you go. Oh, piss off Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
But see, I don't think like as much as Nintendo has horrible rules with their copyrights, I feel like that's not going to be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue.
I mean,
it shouldn't be, but they will absolutely flag it.
It was a fucking issue for Little Big Planet. I mean,
But like people play covers of that music all the time on YouTube. Does that really get flagged? People have Mario covers left and right on YouTube.
I think it depends on who
The
owns the
context,
music and yeah.
I feel like
there was that whole fiasco where some company tried to take down a home video because on the radio in the background something was playing.
That was Prince.
copyrighted
That was
by
Prince.
them. Was
That
it?
was Prince.
There you go.
Make Prince songs.
Make Prince songs.
No.
Do
Fingerprints.
Prince covers. I'm sorry?
No. Fingerprints.
No thanks.
Maybe not.
Okay, so
yeah, I know. Animaniacs.
earlier with the Crystal Tower raids being redone, so we actually do them. You made the comment that 2 years too late, right? Talk about that. They're finally giving us cross-world functionality. Alliance raids, with the introduction of the return to Ivalace, will be able to do cross-world alliances, custom PvP matches, and friend registration.
We've caught up to Final Fantasy XI at last.
We can register friends from other worlds, and you can send them tells. You don't send them those weird play online messages.
It's even better. We've improved.
We've caught up to World of Warcraft.
Oh my god! Wait, so is it only people on your data center, or is it people on
I'm sure it's still data center, but
probably still data
So
center.
it's a data center.
I'm just saying, like, no, they haven't caught up to World of Warcraft.
When it comes to chat functionality?
I mean, in that one very limited aspect, sure.
Yeah.
we're also planning big things in 4.2 and 4.3 as well. Other things we believe players will enjoy. Well, I would hope so. Are you going to create things that you believe we won't?
Yeah.
Well, okay,
I
but
want to see the
Like, this is
alternative.
such a weird thing to say.
The alternative post. We're like, we're planning.
Leave Skrull alone.
No.
Why would we do that? Stop it.
I tried to say something nice to him earlier.
All right, but hold on.
Did you immediately regret it?
No, not really.
Oh.
What do you think those? Because they mentioned that under the Crossworld functionality update. So, what do you guys? Do you think that just means more Crossworld content?
I would assume that means more functionality with people on different servers. Yeah.
So, like, hey, Palace of the Dead cross server, because
Palace of the Dead, maybe they'll add in the ability to visit like residential zones of other servers.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
That would be cool. We could actually have an audience for the show again.
Yeah, we could have people show from anywhere in the Aether data center.
Right.
That would be nice. I'm looking forward to that.
That's the sort of thing I could see them eventually implementing.
If it's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that leaves just one more thing to talk about.
The big one?
The big one.
The best one.
The big one.
Yep.
The big one.
Yep. Just go for it.
How do we want to do this?
Just go for it, man.
All right. So, guys, this is what you've all been waiting for. The new extreme difficulty content, the Ultimate Series. And the general concept behind this series is to serve as the ultimate level of difficult content, which can only be completed by groups that complete the hardest content at that time.
Makes sense.
So what they're doing is they are locking it behind...
it doesn't say that. It doesn't say it can only be entered by people that have completed the hardest content. It says can only be completed by people that have completed the hardest content.
Most people are taking that as
they are
the assumption that it's that they're going to be hard locking it, but behind
to me,
Omega.
it makes it sound like if your eye level and your gear is not strong enough to beat Ultimate level 4, or it's a Savage level 4, then you cannot beat Ultimate.
If they actually haven't said that it will be locked behind
that
that content,
say it is locked behind. It just says it cannot be completed by a group.
What sort of logic is it that you can't go into Bahamut hard mode unless you've beaten Omega?
I mean, this is not the only logic jump that we've seen. Also, we've also seen, like people automatically assuming that we're going to be fighting Bahamut, Nail, and Twintania all at the same time.
Well, here's the thing: this isn't going to be a raid. It's going to be another trial,
right?
It's one trial, also.
Right?
It's not
and they do mention too from the official forums post by Matt. It says the first one is the Unending Coil of Bahamut Ultimate. And if you see the screenshot, you can see enemies other than Bahamut.
Right.
So I do think there will be multiple bosses at once.
I know. I think that's how they're going to delineate the phases, is that you'll probably start off maybe against 3 of them. One of them will power up. You'll fight
you
one
think
of
it'll
them.
Be like
the other one will...
gauntlet rather than all of them at once?
Yeah, I do.
I would much prefer much prefer all at once. I would love some Divine Might-esque play these days.
Here's the problem, though. With Final Fantasy XIV, things are way too structured, and when it comes to defeating stuff, you don't get that freedom to play around and decide how you're going to take them out. In Square Enix's mind, when something is designed, everyone has to beat it in that way.
And under that theory, you would have one of those that would have to be kited by a DPS or two mobs tanked at once, which would make it feel like not that epic.
Yeah. Plus, if you're gonna fight all 3 of them at once, it would be a facade. You wouldn't actually be fighting them all at once. It would be, like you said, some sort of gauntlet where like Bahamut comes down,
right,
and the other 2 untargetable are attacking you, and then they switch spots.
See, that's what I'm thinking. Is that like you'll be fighting Bahamut, and Twintania will be doing dive bombs from outside the arena.
Yeah,
and then Nail will have his weird thing in the center of the arena, and then they'll switch out.
Meteors will be dropping.
Exactly.
Like
yes,
that.
exactly.
But ultimately, it's still just 1 HP bar that you're whittling down to the end.
Well, but not only that, though. I mean, in terms from a development perspective, they're just taking assets that are already put into the game and reorganizing them. I mean, I would expect that the battlefields, if they shift at all, are probably just going to shift between Twintania, the fucking 3 battlefields that each one of the bosses. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I guess we're not at the time being it's just going to be a round battlefield. You can't do like the sleep pull, take 4 of the angels with you, and you have to burn down the Taru before they all die or they all come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's no mechanics like that anymore.
It really isn't.
Darn.
It really
Even
isn't.
though we do have sleep in this game and it never gets used anymore. But
yeah, does anyone ever pop sleep?
No. Only still maybe if you are speed running Wanderer's Palace.
PvP maybe?
don't
black mages sleep to try and disrupt stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, something like this has to have a great reward, though, right? Because Square Enix is awesome at incentivizing
why do you say that?
stuff.
What would give you that idea?
Well, you get weapons, like really strong weapons.
Except
Players will receive a weapon as reward. Yes. The item level is the same as Omega Deltascape Savage version 4. However, we believe the design will really stand out.
I believe it will stand out, but only because you'll only see it once.
So if you're beating this, you've probably already
gotten your weapon
Deltascape Savage version 4.
Which means that it's completely fucking
It should be
pointless.
5 eye levels higher.
Yes, it should.
Thank
There
you,
it is.
Nika. Yes, I totally agree. This should outrank the Savage weapon by 5 eye levels so that
Because-
people actually want to fucking do it.
Because isn't the Savage weapon already 5 levels higher than the other stuff? So then this should be 5 levels higher than that.
Yes.
So that way, this one is 10 eye levels higher than every other piece of gear.
Exactly. I
Bam.
totally agree.
Nika nailed it.
That would get it done. That would get it done. And that piece of gear would stay relevant longer into 4.2.
Yes, it would.
4.2.
Yep. And so that okay. So this doesn't make any sense though, especially if there is a content lock, which I kind of think it should be.
But there isn't a
if there
content
is-
lock on this.
If there is a content lock on this,
No, there isn't. There isn't. You can complete look, it says by completing it, you obviously a weapon will drop. You'll get a token to then go choose
No.
your own weapon.
No. What
No,
Nick is
I'm
talking about is for entry in.
If you have to be 04S to get into
Gotcha.
it, which it sounds like you do, but it is not. Doesn't the wording is not actually confirming that.
It does. I mean, it does. I think that wording does leave it open to either making that barrier for entry eye level, or completion of one of the Savage raids. Maybe not necessarily 4. Right?
Yeah.
Like if you can
I
get
mean, well,
past 2,
but
right? Like if you can do 1 and 2.
I don't think so.
No?
I think that it definitely means 4 because if you look at the achievement in the game, it says completing Deltascape Savage, and to complete it, you get the achievement. Like that usually means the final one.
Well, no, but I mean, like you don't.
It doesn't mean any random one.
Well, no, but for the achievement, sure. But I'm saying
It's
to
the same wording, so I feel like.
What do you mean it's the same wording?
Like when you say you've completed Omega Deltascape Savage, it means you've completed all of them, not just one of them. Like that's what that means. The same wording in the achievement is like you've completed the Binding Call of Bahamut means you've completed the final one in Binding Call of Bahamut, not any random.
But you were the one who just said that it doesn't necessarily mean that the barrier for entry is
right because
is
of the not
Omega
because of the
Savage.
word not because of the word savage, because of the word complete. It doesn't say to enter you must have completed. It just says to complete this.
Well, then where are you making the logical jump to say that it could be eye level that is the barrier for entry? Because there's no completion in terms of eye level.
I'm not saying that. Where did you think I was saying that?
You had when we had first gone over this and said that the barrier for entry is most likely Omega 4 Savage. You were the one who was like, nah, it doesn't necessarily say that.
It doesn't. What it says is, in order to complete this, players will have completed the hardest content in the game already. And so that just means that they're saying that you won't be able to do it unless you can already clear it. It doesn't say to enter. That's the word I was focusing on.
I think all she's saying
enter.
is from what they've said that it doesn't necessarily pertain to being able to enter. They're just saying if you want to beat this, you have to have the skill to also beat Omega.
And probably also your weapons from it.
Okay, but that's totally different though. Because you could have someone, if it's, I'm talking about what the fucking hard lock is. What do you have
we don't
to?
know what the hard lock is. Like people are thinking.
Thanks, Nika.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is people are thinking that paragraph is saying that you have to have completed Savage to enter. What I pointed out was that it doesn't actually say that. Anyway, that was not the point I was trying to make. But I was saying that if there is a lock between having to complete 04 to get into the Ultra Savage, people are already going to have their highest eye level weapons, which means I feel like what is the point then of completing the hardest content? People want a challenge, yes, but they're already going to have the equal eye level weapons.
So it's like Square Enix has learned nothing from when they put the original Bahamut Savage in and nobody wanted to do it for titles, when they put the awesome, super cool weapons that came out of Diadem 2 at the end of an expansion that nobody wanted to do because it's the end of the fucking expansion.
Unless you can use it as a way to overstep the need to complete Omega Savage 4 and get the weapon out of there.
So what he's saying is if people can go into
the hard lockout is actually relevant in the conversation, because if the hard lockout is Omega Savage 4, right, then that weapon automatically day one has no fucking purpose.
Yes.
Exactly, and I think that's what their mistake is with X Primals too, because they put in new Primals, and I really want to fight them, but like why? I already have a stronger weapon. It's not going to make me clear my raid better. And my raid group, who I would usually go and do those X primals with, because learning with pugs is horrible, doesn't want to do it because we're actually focusing on the current raid that we're doing. So
right. So what I was saying, by making that hard barrier for entry to queuing for this ultimate series of content, by making that hard barrier for entry either eye level difficulty or not Omega Savage 4, but something like Omega Savage 2, then the content does make sense relative to this patch. But that's it. But after 4.1, when we get the next tier of Savage raids, then it becomes irrelevant again.
Yeah, it'll
even if it's 5 eye levels over that raid weapon that's already dropping in Omega Savage 4, automatically it's dead by the time 4.2 comes out.
So best case scenario, all this does is for the lifespan of this leg of Omega, it breaks up the monotony of raiding because you can choose to either go into Omega V4 or go into Ultimate Bahamut.
And that's what I was saying. And that's the only way that something like this, the organization of this kind of content, makes sense the way that they're trying to present it right now.
That wouldn't make sense because they're trying to give extra content for the people who are already beating 1 through 4 on Tuesday and logging off.
I agree.
Stronger content for those players.
I agree, Nika. You're preaching to the choir.
And so I also feel like, though, that you're probably not going to be able to kill it without your weapons from V4. So if that's the case, what's the point?
Yeah.
That may be. That very well may be. But then what purpose is this serving?
Zero.
None. It's only serving as a glamour weapon.
And we've seen grower.
Exactly. And we've seen that has not been effective. Not for FF14. If you want people to challenge, you know what this is going to be? This is going to be the second tier of Bahamut. Yeah, the second
Coil Savage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what this is going to be. There's going to be 15 total people that will have completed it. They'll, at least they get a weapon and not a fucking title this time.
Let me tell you what's going to be even more frustrating about this is so Square Enix doesn't like to give us numbers on very many things, but they will be so quick to lay out the numbers of just how many people are doing this, and then they'll be the first one to say, like, see, we told you no one wants this shit.
Phoenix Games in the chat saying it may affect BIS, possibly. Here's the problem. The qualifier in that sentence, the possibly.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Also,
That's the
whatever the relic, we haven't even factored in whatever the next relic's going to be.
Well, yeah.
So if that lets you customize your shit, then the other things aren't going to matter at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great fucking
That's
point.
why it also needs to be 5 levels above the relic.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. It needs to outclass everything if you want people at that level of play to want to invest in it. Totally. 100%.
Yeah, I see. I thought you were going to be the opposite. I didn't think you were going to be. I thought you were going to be like, oh, it's locked behind 04S. Good. Make them do something hard to get in there. I thought you were going to be the opposite.
No, I do not have a problem with content like that. What I have a problem with here is that the player motivation to want to participate in it and to want to do it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make logical sense in terms of what how you challenge a player base, how you challenge an individual player, and what motivates them to do things. We've seen what motivates people to participate in events and stay engaged in FF14.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think
we'd love to hear from you on this.
Yeah.
We're wondering if we're just talking to ourselves here. Are we right? Are we wrong?
Are we even still live? Are we still on Twitch? Is Twitch a thing? What are we?
I'm scared, Dave. Will I dream?
Who are we? Where are we? Do we only live inside of a dream? Anyway, no, give us a call. 810-515-8715, Limit Break Radio on Skype, limitbreakradio.com/Discord if you want to call in on Discord.
I can't believe no one wants to talk to Kooky today.
I know, right?
She's just sitting there all alone.
She's
probably in her underwear right now.
Just one 12-year-old racist on Final Encounter Cast was the only person that wanted to talk to Kooky today.
That's so unfair.
Nah, there were two other
someone talk about the hurricanes.
We had 3 callers on Final Encounter Cast and 0 on Limit Break Radio.
I know.
What is happening?
I know.
What is going on?
Maybe people think that we have well-informed opinions this time on Limit Break Radio.
Yeah, maybe that'll happen.
They're just agreeing with... Maybe they're too sad to call in. Or maybe they're just getting ready for football. I don't know.
Football is going on today.
That is.
That's true.
Yeah.
By the way, be careful, everyone, on the drive home today. Lions will be getting out probably after a disappointing loss.
Yeah.
So
A lot of people are going to be hitting the bar.
a lot of people getting cranked tonight.
That's true. Anyway, so yeah, let's let's go to this official forums post now that we've kind of laid this all out. Oh, by the way, there is stuff about Return to Ivalice. Did we kind of already touched on some of this back when we were talking about, towards the beginning of the segment, but it is influenced by Final Fantasy Tactics. And that Tactics is a story that is a well-known fairy tale by anyone in Garlemald. And it's going to try to keep the FF Tactics story as a base, so but it also wants to retain...
Fuck you, Scalpel! I was in the bubble! God damn it!
What? You just cut yourself.
No, I've gone the entire day without knowing what the Lions score is. I haven't looked at my phone. I had the game recording. God damn it.
Oh.
And someone spoiled it?
Someone just said the Lions won.
Oh. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. God, now I can look at the score, I guess. And fucking...
Anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah, no,
Sorry for the derail.
Return to Ivalice is
he wasn't the first one, actually. Someone said it first.
Using Final Fantasy Tactics story as a base, and then also wanted to retain the essence of FF12. So it's players will enter Rabanastre.
That's the weird part. Like, there's a big picture of Ramza and Delita from FF Tactics, and then we're entering Rabanastre, which
is FF12,
which we never entered in Tactics, as far as I'm aware.
No, that was FF12's hometown.
So it's like we're going to just get a big mashup of everything.
Yeah, they're going to take FF Tactics characters, put them in FF12, and so it will use the base of Final Fantasy Tactics with some scene settings from FF12. I mean, I don't know, dude. I'm interested to see how Rabanastre is portrayed, because if I'm remembering Rabanastre correctly, it felt a lot like Old Da.
Yeah, it did.
No, very similar.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be really interested to see how they end up doing that, and how different or similar it'll end up feeling to Old Da.
Interesting. No, I'm really.
If there's one thing that I'm going to be interested in, that's the one thing. All this other shit I couldn't care about.
Yeah, I'm happy that we're not just like getting talked about like, oh yeah, you'll because what I was afraid of is we were going to see this preview and it's like, look forward to seeing some familiar faces, and I'm like, oh god, no, we didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Look, if you're going to set a story in Rabanastre, I'd much rather have the characters of Final Fantasy Tactics involved in that than Vaughn and I mean, I feel like it's coming down the line.
But Bosch and Balthier are so cool.
Whatever. I feel like it's coming. I feel like it's coming down the line at some point. But if we can kick that can a little bit farther down the road, I'm fine with that. But I love our chat room assuming that we don't know that Final Fantasy Tactics is set in Ivalice.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah,
we know.
We're aware. We know.
Anyway.
All right, so let's read this awesome post here.
Yes, because there was interesting post from the official forums regarding opinions about whether or not the ultimate raids should be walled off by challenge.
Yep, so here we go.
All right.
I honestly don't understand why Ultimate Savage content is locked behind O4S. And
we don't know that it is, as Nika went to great lengths to explain.
But everyone is assuming. Everyone's assuming that's
you're
what
right.
That means.
No. I agree with you, Nika. Everyone is jumping to conclusions.
I can already hear some of you claim I am probably just some inexperienced player who is only bitter because he'll never clear it. Well,
no, what I'm saying is that you're jumping to conclusions based on a probably poorly translated statement.
Well, you would be wrong. Not about that, but about the thing I just said.
Oh.
I have cleared everything. Every tier, including Gordius, before nerfs was a thing.
Ooh.
On O4S, and will most likely kill it tomorrow due to having a pretty shaky raid schedule.
Oh, man, look at this guy's big penis.
Now that this disclaimer is out of the way, we can get to the gist of it.
Hang on, can we just talk? Can we just for a few minutes here really just marvel at this guy's perfect, fragrant penis? Is that possible? Because clearly he's got the best penis ever to have ever penised anywhere in the history of penises.
somewhere Juxta is getting really excited right now.
And he does.
Penis is air quotes huge.
Juxta is getting a boner, and he has no idea why.
And believe me, I know all about swallowing.
That was a bad one.
It was okay.
I don't get to use it often.
But yeah, no, I think that, listen, this guy did not pat himself on the back enough about how much he's accomplished in FF14. And so I really think that we need to really highlight this guy and his contributions to the endgame community of this wonderful MMO. I think we really need to do that. So thank you for your amazing contributions and your upstanding penis.
Jesus, did you even try?
It's a very big penis.
It is.
He goes on to say, there is absolutely zero reason for SE to exclude players from entering Ultima Savage. Even if they will never be able to clear it, they should still have the option of being able to enter the fight. These people pay just as much as O4S players.
Oh God! Can we retire this argument? Can we
please?
I just find this so weird that it's coming from someone that already can clear content. Just who cares then?
He can't. He's clearly this guy is delusional, and he masturbates to the thought of being able to clear content because that's the only thing that he values. And so I think that he actually can't clear any of this content, and that he's making up a persona that is able to clear it and is able to talk confidently about it.
So people can't automatically dismiss him.
That's right.
Yeah. I understand that players who are serious about clearing Savage Ultimate do not want people who are inexperienced, but it's incredibly easy to bypass this. Just as is the case with Extremes, for example, you can make it so that only clearers of set Extreme Primal can join. Why not give PF creators the same option, so that when they are serious about Ultimate Savage progression and only want experienced people, only O4S clearers can join. That way, people who have no intent of clearing or have never cleared O4S can at least experience it. I am absolutely baffled that 95% are denied this content when such a simple solution would not deny them this fight. Inclusion is not a bad thing in this case.
Listen,
what's wrong with having hard content that's only for the best players? What is wrong with
Dude, nothing. He just wants people to be able to go in.
Why are
we denying them entrance?
I mean, we're not. I mean, we could start there.
Hold up, don't you have to clear hard mode versions of fights to do extreme mode primals?
Yeah.
Don't you didn't you have to do normal mode Alexander to go into Savage?
Yeah.
Hell, and back in the beginning of 2.0, you actually had to clear each of the Garuda and Ifrit and
I don't know
in order to get to the next one.
I think Nika, I think that you brought up a remarkably good point that it doesn't explicitly say that we have to clear O4S to be able to go in.
It doesn't, but even if that is the case, so what?
Yeah, I mean, even if you do have to clear it, who cares? So what? It's nothing new to have to do a fight to get into the next fight.
Yeah.
The fact
that especially because you can't even they changed it, I think, for this go around, but I'm pretty sure that back during Coil you had to clear T5 to get to T6.
You did.
And you had to clear T9 to get to T10.
It was like that originally.
For Alex.
Right.
Yeah.
But Coil, you had to. But the thing is what you would do is you would just wait until the next one came out. Then the next eye level came out. Then you'd go back and only clear the final one. We actually tested that out, I think, with Juxta or Callow or somebody. We actually took them in to just Twintania, cleared it for them, and then we found out, you don't have to clear them all.
Majoga in the chat saying the only requirement I could see is actually having to beat Coil, which
makes sense.
That makes sense.
I think you should have to have cleared Coil. Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just saying,
or at least T13 and nothing.
Yeah, clear T13. But I'm saying if they said no, you have to do O4S to go into here, I'd be fine with that. That makes sense to me.
I'd be okay with that too. The only thing they said they want to give the players that are already beating the hardest content more to do.
Yeah.
Why would? That's what it's for. Just let that content exist, please.
There's a little lore side of me that finds a little bit I have to clear Omega to fight Bahamut again, but
I can see that from a lore perspective.
It doesn't make sense.
That's why I don't understand why they're going back to this being Bahamut. Why didn't they make it an Ultimate Mega Omega Savage?
Yeah,
because so many people think so fondly of Bahamut that they're probably oh man, this will get people back into raiding.
I mean, maybe.
Especially if you have to clear 04S to do it.
It does feel like a bit of a nostalgia play. Let's go to our phone lines and talk to Sly. What's going on, Sly?
What's going on? How you doing?
Yo.
Oh my God,
That
dude!
voice is like chocolate, isn't it?
Dude, your
So
fucking
good.
mic is amazing. It sounds very good today.
Sly, I'm aroused.
That's not hard to do.
Yeah, don't.
It's not that hard.
Stop arousing Ascalia. Anyway, what's up, Dan?
I'm sorry.
I mean, can't really help
first,
it.
Let me address the poster with the big penis. I'm black, so fight me, bro. Secondly, yeah, I'm amongst the demographic that's okay with locking it behind, having to clear, Savage 04S.
Sure.
Seems like you should have to clear the next easiest content to do the hardest content.
I mean,
right?
it does feel like a bit of a concession with the drop down in difficulty that we've seen between Alexander and Omega, right? Like Alexander really challenged the entire community at a point where I think that the community was much more vibrant, especially at the end game level.
Yeah.
Than Omega did. Omega was cleared in less than 24 hours. I think it took at least a couple of weeks for people to gear up to be able to meet that DPS check for Alex 4. So, yeah. So, there's definitely a difference. And I think that if you take that concession and you make that final confrontation, like that, if you lighten up that challenge enough so that it can be completed in something like 24 hours, that's a pretty reasonable reward to get on the other side of that. Does it include all parts of the FF14 audience and community? No. Should it?
Of course not.
No. Doesn't have to.
Exactly.
And I think by locking it behind clearing a certain thing like 04S, it takes out the middleman, because you let's say, okay, it's unlocked, anybody can do it. What are the casual to mid-core is going to do? I mean, half of the mid-core will be able to do it, half won't.
Right.
And the half that won't will just get into it, say, oh my God, this is too hard. Why did you put this in the game? It takes out the middleman of having to deal with those complaints.
No, I agree. I think the only thing that I think is a little bit confusing is why Square Enix would be throwing more content at that end of the community when the engagement rate is so low. I mean, people throw out, that less than 5% of the community actually participates in endgame rating. Now, with the ease in difficulty, you may have seen a little bit of an uptick between Heaven's Word and Stormblood.
Let's say 5 to 10 now.
Yeah, right.
5-10%. That said, if we had gotten yet another piece of content that was for the mid to low core, I'd lose my goddamn mind.
Okay, see, now that's my question. How do they then, like in a few months, how do they look at this and determine whether or not it was successful?
Yeah.
Because you can't really look at like numbers engaged, right? Because it's for such a low percentage.
Well, and again, and I think that this is in the end gonna end up feeling like it fits in that same place as Savage Binding Coil,
the original Savage mode. Yeah.
Exactly, right. Like where it's this extra thing that like only a very, very, very small percentage of the community does or even attempts, because not just because like it's difficult, but because the rewards don't make any goddamn sense. I think that's my biggest problem with it, is that in terms of your reward structure, Square Enix still feels very gun shy about allowing people to power up past this arbitrary point that they've set for that patch.
Let's complain about it.
And I don't know, man. Like, I feel like that is not the best way to do it. Like, I don't feel like that's a terribly satisfying way to not just design an MMO, but to play an MMO. Like, to be a player on the other side. Like, Again, don't rely on me to make my own motivation and to make my own fun. That relies on me being so connected and so like obsessively wanting to play in the world that is just not.
There's an element of frustration of knowing you're going to be reset back to square one every other patch.
There is, but to Nero's point, if it relies on me to create my own motivation, that doesn't make your game very competitive, because the first game that comes along that motivates me to play that game, I'm gone.
Yeah, exactly. The first game that I'm thinking about other than this game, I'm gone. You know what I mean? Like
PUBG, let's go.
It's so true.
How much more PUBG than 14 of you played this week?
I think I probably logged 5 hours into PUBG, and I was on FF14 for like 40 minutes yesterday.
There you go. That's it.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, and this isn't me being an apologist. I'm okay with the reward structure that Ultimate Savage has to offer. I was like, this is not me being content with what Second Coil Savage had, but I'm okay with, I was okay with the title and a new asshole. That's fine, because we're obviously going to get a new asshole, but a weapon I'm okay with. I mean, it depends on the stats. Basically.
Exactly.
We're like most of us already probably are BIS or even close to it.
Well,
so
and someone in our chat room had brought up like it could affect BIS structure, and that's very true. But for the amount of difficulty that seems like it's involved in even participating in the event, that it should not even be a question, that it should be a foregone conclusion. It should be a goal. If you have to put in enough footwork to clear OS4 or O4S or whatever the fuck, then you know what? That reward has got to drive you, because it's not just at O4S that you get your reward. It's one fight after, and there's a good chance that fight is going to be even fucking harder.
Yeah,
so that reward has to be worth that legwork.
Agreed.
Yeah,
but the reward is worth it. But at the same time, when you really look at how many people have cleared O4S in this entire tier without being BIS, is it really worth it at that point?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I don't know what the percentages on clears are for O4S, but I know it's not high.
Yeah,
it's not super high. Yeah. Like that's why this weapon needs to be worth it to make more people care.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because
it's like if I know that I can just get the same high level weapon from clearing O4, why bother?
How many stories have we heard? And Nick, I think that you've actually gone through this a little bit too, where as you start to be, whatever one you're on, and people start to get gear up, some groups start to lose members, because why should I show up and keep slamming my face against this now that I'm fully geared? And you want to go one fight further for nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think part of that
difficulty's sake.
Yeah, if you go up another 5 eye levels and you can make it competitive, like, do you know how nice it would have been to think about, like, oh, that fight's really hard, but if I clear it and get my weapon, I don't have to tome grind next patch. Newsflash, I don't want to tome grind if I can avoid it. I do tome grinding because I have to, not because it's compelling content.
Yeah.
If you can say, like, if you get this clear, you can skip tome grinding. But Ascalia, then you will have nothing to do that patch. Well, that's a whole nother problem in and of itself.
Well, you would tome
but I would rather
gear,
not
but
do
not
it.
for the weapon.
Yeah, exactly. I still get tomes, not for the weapon.
Like, you wouldn't have to bother about clearing the final, like, normal mode Omega, the next patch, in order to get the gears, in order to get the tomes for the whatever.
Right,
you could skip that part of it, which I think would be totally worth it.
Because the weapon is 3 weeks of tomes, right?
Yeah.
Minimum 3 weeks to get your tome weapon? Yeah, exactly.
Plus, you need 7 weeks of clear. Either you have to be able to clear the 3rd tier of the raid, or you need 7 weeks of clearing the story mode one.
Right.
So that you would eliminate that. You'd still have to tome grind for your gear, sure.
Yeah.
But it would eliminate the stress of the weapon. You could focus more on the gear. And I think that would be worth it for people.
And so that means that weapon effectively lasts me 3 patches, which is longer than anything you get now in this game. That's totally worth it.
Hell, the O4S weapon will last you. I'm probably not gonna, once I get my weapon, I'm not gonna grind for my weapon next year.
That's fair.
Well, it's gonna be higher eye level though.
It will be. You'll be losing out on 5 eye level by doing that.
At the same time, like, you can probably still clear the content with the previous tier Savage weapon and be okay.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
But this isn't. But again, this isn't mid-level content, a la Palace of the Dead, where you can just you can queue up and keep trying to move through it and work towards your weapon. This is this is your raid group specifically trying for something. And dude, I can see if it's not specifically worth the trouble, having many raid groups approach it the same way that they would approach approach the second binding coil of Bahamut Savage, where they were just like, they would get to the end of binding coil, the second binding coil, and just be like, all right, we're done.
Well, yeah, I mean, once you're there. Well,
Nika,
we ran into this.
Well, Nika, did you ever go back and get your titles from Binding Coil second, Savage second, whatever it was?
Yes, I'm wearing one right now.
Nice.
I mean,
I did not.
Hey.
That's cool.
How was it?
Each fight lasted about 8 seconds, so I mean, it really
so
wasn't.
you did it far.
I did
far
it like
past
a month ago.
Okay.
So I tried really hard. I actually had a static for it when it was relevant,
Right.
but people just stopped showing up.
See, this is the story that I was baiting, and now, yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, basically, so I tried really hard. I've been one of the only people, I think, because I just wanted the title The Avatar, because I'm a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Which is
et
about
cetera.
the only even remotely cool title.
So I really, really wanted that title. And so I was petitioning groups, and finally, like, the people in my free company were like, yeah, we've been running it through for people. Let's just run them all through for Nika. And I was like, sweet. So like each fight was literally 20 seconds or less. And I don't even remember the mechanics. Who fucking cares? They don't exist in 20 seconds. So
Yeah, that's true. The fight's over before you know what happened. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like the olden days.
And it was that easy.
It's like the first time you do
we're
Ifrit.
20 physical levels higher, and I can't even remember how many eye levels higher this
So I'm glad that we now have a context for what will happen in another 3 years when this content is easy enough to go through with a blindfold on. But
see, nobody's going to go back through it because it's not even a title. It's a weapon that's going to be so far irrelevant. It doesn't
Right.
Depends on how cool the weapon is.
I
That's
guess.
true. If it is really, really cool that it can actually be like a weapon lust, like you can look at someone wearing it and be like, holy fuck,
That's a
that
cool
guy has the
weapon.
ultimate weapon.
But
that is
when
so
was
cool.
the
But
last
it has
time
to be-
that happened?
It has to be really cool.
It's, I mean,
it has to be like blow your mind. You've never seen anything so cool in your life. Cool. Or otherwise,
Kinda,
it's
yeah.
not worth
Fly
it.
out of my butt.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Or otherwise, no one will ever go back and do it. Even in 3 years when we're at level 90, no one's going to care.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Like, in many ways, as much shit as we gave it for just having a title, in many ways, the title lasted longer than any weapon would have.
It's true, because that title's so cool. I'm never changing it.
I mean,
But let's be honest, and let's call, like, in terms of relevancy now, let's call a spade a spade. This is just placeholder content. I mean, people who haven't cleared, well, they still have Shinryu Extreme to do, and then still have to work on clearing.
What's Shinryu Extreme going to drop? It's coming off in the off patch. It's not going to be any higher eye level than anything we already have. People that are high level rating already aren't going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to do it for shits and gigs just to say that I did it.
Yeah, get your
That's
doggo,
the thing.
maybe.
I always want to do that, but when you are in a raid group, unless you want to learn with a pug group, your raid group, unless you're already clearing O4S, is going to want to be focusing on your current raid. That's why it took me a long time to get Nidhogg done and Zervon, because the gear that it dropped at that time was already lesser eye level than what I had from raids. So at that point, it's not worth it.
Exactly. If your raid group is still in progression mode, your 3 raid nights or however many it is a week, that's what you're doing.
Right.
You're
Yes.
progging. You're not going off like, well, let's do this for funsies tonight. No one's doing
Exactly. And then you'd have to find extra time to do with pugs, and doing with pugs is painful.
that. Yeah, how horrible that must be.
Even though I've cleared O4S with a pug. Yeah, fight me, bro, with the big penis. Fight me.
Ooh, man, Sly, how do you walk around with that thing?
Man, you gotta tilt it to the side. That's how you do it.
People mistake it for my leg all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
All right, Sly, thanks for the call, man. We appreciate it. We always love hearing from you. Twitch.tv/Sly, a.k.a. Gray Fox, as well as
Friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show, as well as host for State of the Realm. So
Absolutely.
Make sure
The host that likes us.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Sly. We appreciate it. Again,
Also, tell Nika's husband we said hi.
Oh,
What?
if you want to call...
Happy.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
Mrs. Hannah?
okay, yeah.
That's a long,
I really,
long callback. We've
that was a thing.
been off the air.
I thought you were making a joke like he was fucking senpai. I'm like, what does that mean?
yeah, I was really
Nobody
confused there for a
fucks
second.
senpai.
That's what I thought you
Senpai
meant.
does the fucking.
I mean, I do, but
Anyway.
Oh my.
Senpai
I mean-
fucks.
Me wants snoo.
He doesn't get fucked. He only fucks.
Anyway,
Okay,
Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord if you'd like to call in on Discord. We'd love to hear from you. We've only got, I don't know, maybe about 20 minutes left in the show, if that. But if you want to call the show, that's how you do it. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Yes, this makes no sense. Like, in terms of gear structure, gear rewards, reward structure. None of this makes a goddamn lick of sense.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the problem, what's so frustrating about it is literally it's 5 eye levels away from being just fine. From you looking at this event and saying, like, no, good job. That's fine.
Or,
Go
yeah,
for it.
at least being a step up from what they usually deliver.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's 5 eye levels away. Like it's like everything else was Square Enix. Like you're right there. You're so goddamn close. At the last second you pull the punch every time.
Yeah,
it's so close.
I swear to God that it's like the Square Enix trademark move to pull a punch. That you could call it the Square Enix pulled punch. Like I don't,
That's
you know,
super
like,
original.
I know, right?
Well said.
I know.
Square Enix's fucking like logo is gonna be a boxing glove.
Like, why do they always do this? It's like they make a decision and then someone looks at it and it's like, yeah, but like that might offend somebody.
It's everything in half measures.
It is. Yeah.
And
I agree.
By the way, that's not just for the end game hardcore stuff that we want.
No, this is on a narrative level too. Yeah.
Yeah, and their mid-core and low-B content is the same way too. It's always on half measures.
Every fucking game they make, like every narrative they make is like that.
Yeah. Does anyone remember the last time they felt incentivized to play Final Fantasy XIV?
I mean, yes, I do.
All right, when was it?
It was to be able to do the story episode a couple of weeks ago on Limit Break Radio. That's it.
And you provided that incentive.
Yeah.
When was the last time you felt incentivized to play the game, though? Like you wanted something out of the game? I would assume for you it was probably Binding Coil story mode? Like getting the story out of Binding Coil?
Getting probably, yeah.
That was a long time. I think
for
for
really
me it was the first artifact weapon. The first relic weapon, which that didn't even last the whole expansion because I gave up near the end.
Yeah, I know.
I think for me it was A12S. Even knowing that the weapon was going to be worthless, I wanted to clear my first raid, so I really wanted that.
Nika was probably a lot more recent.
I would assume Nika's 03S.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Are you guys on 04S now?
Yeah. No, we're on 03S, but we just finally started hitting Enrage, so we'll probably be playing it pretty soon. Yeah.
Swag.
Nice. So my Nika still has it. Good
Nika's
for you,
got it,
Nika.
yeah. And like there are people who still play. You can log in, you see people doing stuff and having fun. I'm just saying that the number's a lot smaller than it used to be.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that's a fair question though. I think it's a fair question. When was the last time that you
the
really
game incentivized?
Yeah. That's a fair question. Let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Satori. What's going on, Satori?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. Thanks for calling in. What's up?
I just wanted to say the biggest incentive for the Ultimate Fight, or for Square Enix to produce something like the Ultimate Fight, is kind of like how with Omega, when the first raid groups were hitting Neo X Death, I saw a lot of blow up on my social media, and even people I know who work on World of Warcraft who got hyped about the intro for him.
You're talking about the transition from when you clear X Death and Neo X Death appears on the field? Yeah.
There was a lot of hype, and I think that is one of the big reasons why they're doing the Ultimate Fight. Not to mention the survivability of the Ultimate Fight is going to be a lot longer than some hard mode primal you might see from Hildebrand.
Yeah, I mean, no, there's something to be said for it. Again, I'll go back and reference Divine Might out of FF11. That first time when people started realizing, like, well, wait a minute, if you get this item, you can challenge all 5 Archangels at once. There was an element of just like, oh, it's the showdown.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what people were getting out of Neo X Death appearing for the first time. You're like, oh, the fight's not over.
Yeah.
That was hard already.
To be fair, when I did Divine Might, I was a level 68 white mage with an underleveled sub job.
Oh,
and did you die?
I got carried hard.
You were he was getting carried hard.
Yeah, you sure did.
Of course.
I remember popping a pen of thrust and getting lit up for a 20,000 damage spirits within. That's what I remember. That paladin was pissed.
Damn.
Yeah.
But again, I think that this all comes down to incentive. And it all comes down to the reward structure. I'm sure that the event will be fine. I'm sure that the challenge that it presents will be fine. And I'm sure that whatever additional cool graphics they put in with it will also be fine. But as a person who is not raiding, something like this, should entice me into wanting to be able to participate in it and get the rewards. I do not have that here.
Why would this entice you if you're not enticed by Omega?
That is an interesting question.
This is supposed to entice people that are clearing
Who are
Omega and
already
have
rating.
no reason for playing other than Omega. This is supposed to be for them.
Well, and let me ask this too. Like, who remembers what the reward was for clearing the 5 archangels separately?
I don't.
Anyone remember?
No, I don't.
It was just access to Divine Might.
Yeah, no, that was it. There was nothing. You got nothing for clearing this separately. You
All
only
right.
got the earring if you beat him in Divine Might.
Okay.
And that's the point.
But that earring you had forever.
Yeah, and exactly.
It was worth
That
doing.
earring was forever.
Yeah.
Supano Mimi is
Right.
equipped today.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean that's definitely a good point. Again though, the
Nothing in Final Fantasy 14 is going to last you longer than the year between the 3.4 or
It's no. The way that the current structure is, nothing will last you until the longest anything can last you is one patch. That's it. One patch cycle.
Would it hurt anything terribly bad if this raid or this savage mode of it could drop if you cleared a earring that lasts to the end of the expansion? Just
No.
like
Just
what?
How about a ring? Because you have 2 ring slots anyway.
Sure, fine.
I'd be totally down for that.
I mean, what if the Paladin, the tank accessory, has tenacity on it? How pissed off are they going to?
Well, it depends because what we don't know how tenacity is going to scale. I mean, it is apparently rumored by people who crunch numbers that tenacity will scale better as the eye level is higher. So, in the long run, if this is something that has like a shit ton of tenacity on it, sure,
Maybe.
I'll take it because that means
then it
I'll
would
already
scale.
have more
Yeah.
survivability at this level than I would normally.
But this and actually, Robbie, putting it as a ring is even better because what do you run into every single time you come up on Tome Grind? I can only equip one of each kind of ring.
That's true. That's a good point.
So here in this one, because
one scaling piece of gear.
When you clear it, it is your ring until the end of the expansion.
That would be. You know what? Actually,
bam.
That
you're
would
done.
do it.
I
That
don't
would
even
get
need
it.
a weapon out of there.
That would immediately get it done. And in terms of someone who even only plays on a on a semi-regular basis, that would get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. Because now that ring spot is filled. That's one ring spot I don't have to tome grind for
I would
again.
I would at least try pugging some shit, right?
Yeah, sure.
It would
Give it a
get
go.
me. It would get me into it at least that far. But I think that's a fair question. If you're not already into into raiding, why would this make you want to get into raiding? And I think a much longer term reward is something to dangle out there to say, yes, this is the reason why you would want to participate in this, and this is the reason why you would want to build and make a concerted effort at going towards content like that. As it stands right now, there is no content that encourages me to try to work against myself and get better.
And I think that's one of the few things that would be a carrot both for raiders and for non-raiders. It's a carrot for raiders because, hey, sweet, I can get this item and I have one of my ring spots done for the rest of the expansion.
Yes.
And the same thing applies to non-raiders where they say, well, if I want to put the work in, or hell, in the second tier of raiding, I could go back and try to put the work in at that point and go back and get that ring.
Right. But if the reward is the exact same eye level as the raid that you just completed to be able to have entry into that fight, what purpose does that serve?
Right.
That serves even that serves even less of a purpose than trying to attract people from the mid-core into the end game. I think you'll have more success putting a long-term reward in there and attracting more people from your mid-core to the end game than you would getting repeat people coming back trying to get a reward that is analogous to what you just fucking completed.
Exactly. That's like, that ring would be good for the next 20 months of your life.
Fuck yeah.
But glamour is timeless.
But glamour is timeless. Well, you're not wrong.
That's true, but having glamour be the real goal that's not an acceptable excuse, especially hiding it behind something that difficult.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome if those items or those weapons were on level 350, so I wouldn't have to worry about, hurrying up and doing the whatever 3.4.2's trial is going to be to get the weapon.
Dude, that's what the fuck I keep saying. if you're gonna put in content like this, or if you're gonna have like, and I had even suggested like you don't even have to dev the whole fucking fight. You can just put it as an RNG chest at the end of 04S.
You know what? Big Donkey called.
That was my suggestion. Okay.
I think Big Donkey just called what it's actually gonna be. It's going to be the Dreadworm weapons with a glow, because it's the one weapon that hasn't been like redone or craftable or anything.
He's fucking right. The Paladin Dreadworm sword though.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to be happy.
No, like if this glamour like blows my mind, super cool. Okay,
no,
maybe.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
If it's
100%,
that, no,
100%. That's what it is.
That would be so angering.
Damn, and you know what? The Dreadworm daggers actually look cool, and those are one of the daggers I don't have yet.
I'm actually gonna really look up what the Dreadworm lance looks like. I don't.
It doesn't matter. I'd be waiting till 5.0 to go back and get it anyway.
We'll be getting it when we're in Garlemald.
Yeah.
Dreadworm spear.
Damn,
no.
Donkey.
Why'd you have to ruin it for me?
Big Donkey.
Oh, the Dreadworm spear is boring.
Yeah.
Boo.
All the Dreadworm weapons are fairly boring. Like the Dreadworm body pieces are okay. The weapons not so much.
Yeah, that would be disappointing if that's what it is. But no, I think chat's kind of reacting to the idea of the scaling relic ring. I want that shit.
I am totally
absolutely
down for that.
what I want.
Yeah, dude, that would be awesome. Satori, by the way, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. We always enjoy hearing from you.
So for those who aren't able to see, which is everyone, Nero's cup is giving him a horrible time right now. That cup sucks, man.
It really does.
It's that specific one too, where like the ring always falls out.
the rubber ring.
Yeah, and it doesn't fucking work. You sent me out there to get you a drink one time, and the whole cup started falling apart in my hands. Like, this cup shouldn't do this. Cup should not just fall apart.
Didn't fall apart on me.
Well, I guess I just suck.
Yeah, more than one way.
Yeah.
Ugh.
See, why do you make the joke? Why do you bother?
Shut up. Go get a scaling ring.
Give us a call. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We've only got about 5 minutes left, but we'll go back to our phone lines and talk to Morgan Freeman. What's happening, man?
Hey, guys. You there?
We're there.
We're absolutely here. Where are you?
Oh, man. Limit Break Radio.
What's happening, Morgan?
I am very excited to call in today.
We're excited to have you. What's up, man? What do you want to talk about?
I want to shit on Yoshi P.
Well, this would be the show to let you do it.
All right. First, I don't believe that he's as good as all of us have been fooled into thinking that he is. Ooh. I really don't.
I mean, at this point, I'm kind of inclined to believe that. I mean, I think he gets plenty of undue praise. That's for sure.
I have no proof, but the things that I loved about FF14 could kind of be said that they were coming from the end of 1.0 because I jumped on at about 2.2.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed it. And I was just looking for a Final Fantasy game. And I saw this, PS3. I jumped on the free trial, and I never really looked back. I was there 2.55. I was there I won't say I was at FanFest, but I was there for the hype. I felt the hype with you guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I rolled into 3.0. I remember the poop soccers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Poop soccers, absolutely.
I mean, even I was a little bit poop socky at that point.
3.0,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I wanted that Dark Knight at 60. You know what? That was the last thing I was truly motivated by FF14, was getting Dark Knight to 60.
Fair enough, but I've always been Black Mage. I can't really do the tank thing. And that's the thing. I feel as if I'm a Black Mage at heart, but I had to learn tank. I had to learn healer just so I could roulette faster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of shitty. But anyway, then the 3.1 thing happened. All right, yeah, they're tired, whatever. Now we're getting one dungeon. I mean, I'm sure this is all stuff that we talked about for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
So I wrote some stuff down on the back of my Walgreens prescription pad here. Some things that they could do to make it better.
All right.
If they would just allow the parsers. Why can't we have our parsers? I want to know how well I'm doing. You know what I mean? If you're not going to give me the gear to lust after, then at least let me know about my DPS. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm a console guy.
Yeah.
So And then you turn around and say that you don't really allow the parsing anyway because it's illegal, but people do it anyway. That's just dumb. All right, so they can release real data. Okay, tell me how many people are really playing. I don't let the 10 million people signed up at one point. Whatever, man. At least be honest with us.
Yeah,
okay?
we all recognize that as like corporate buzzwords and bullshit. Yeah,
and that's why, fellas, Nika, we're not going to get the Final Fantasy that we want because Square Soft is gone. Square Enix is here to stay. I listened to Final Encounter Cast, and the one guy that called in about the microtrans on their
the mobile app,
mobile game. Yeah, I mean, real video game developers, real video game fans need to be busting up into these boardrooms. And I'm not for murder per se, but they should be doing something to these people who are making these money hungry decisions to bank on the gamers. I'm a gamer from when gaming would get you beat up. Okay, that's how far back the gaming I go, man. It's like you get your ass beat.
Yeah, I remember that. That might be a good checkpoint topic. Someone write that down.
When gaming got you beat up.
When gaming got you beat up. Yeah. When the type of game that you played was something that you got beat up for. I do remember that. But anyway, look, Morgan, I think that you bring up some really good points here. I do think, of course, Squaresoft is gone. Are we likely to get the Final Fantasy game that we want? No. Can there be practical improvements to the game as it exists now that would make it better? Absolutely.
Yeah, can we get a happy middle ground
between
the game we want and the game we have?
And
I think that can happen.
I think I would be okay with that. Yeah.
I think, you know what? The game that we want is called World of Warcraft right now.
I
changed the skin out on World of Warcraft, and it's kind of the game we want.
You're kind of not that wrong.
And it sickens me to say that as a lifelong WoW hater.
I know. I agree.
Yeah,
You're not getting your account back.
I'm a Final Fantasy fan, and the fact that we have one of the greatest IPs ever to hit video gaming, and we just can't figure out a way to keep everyone playing the game. You're so worried about constantly cycling people in that you don't really even care about the people you're cycling out. And I just don't want to get to a point where we have so many people gone, and then they turn around and say, oh, these are the mistakes that we made. And then everyone's already gone anyway, and then it doesn't matter because they'll say, all right, well, let's switch it over to mobile.
Yeah.
Now we got Final Fantasy 14 mobile.
Yeah.
People will jump back on board with that.
And Morgan, to your point, man, like I don't think that the shitty decisions that are driving a lot of Square Enix's business decisions or a lot of the greedy decisions that are happening, that's not happening in a bubble, and Square Enix is the only one pushing that. Like that's an industry thing, and as opposed to advocating for murder or some kind of violence here, I think that the most effective thing that we can do as consumers, and I want to remind everyone about this, is vote with your wallet. Like I think people do not understand what their buying power actually gets them, because the only reason that microtransactions and day one DLC is still perpetuated is because the companies are making money.
Yeah, they make a fortune. If they didn't make any money off it, it wouldn't happen.
Exactly.
Immediately, that would be gone.
If they stopped making money,
right?
If it became more of a pain in the ass to make that stuff, and it didn't just print money for them, then I think that consider I think mobile games are really the worst offenders of this, because they take the least amount of development and they take a degree of control away from the player. Because if you think about it, no matter what the mobile game is, it takes a degree of freedom away from the player because it has to simplify the controls in some way. You know, in Pokemon Go, you don't have a D button that you use to control your character. You have to get off your ass and walk. Now, is that a mechanic and a clever way to use the hardware? Absolutely. But it's also an inherent problem in the hardware where a D-pad just doesn't fucking it just doesn't work on a touchscreen.
Yeah.
So there's two reasons for it. And again, I think that mobile games driving such a huge profit margin is really a huge problem. And especially for long-term fans of gaming, because there is no reason, like if a AAA studio is making more money on the mobile market than they are with their AAA games, why would they keep making AAA games?
If I can make as much money investing $500,000 in a mobile game, why am I dropping $500 million on a game?
Right.
Yeah. Why would you? If you're going to make, let's say, assume you make even remotely similar profit margins off it. So I make a $50,000 game that makes me $100,000, or I make a $5 million game that makes me, $5,100,000. Who cares?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Do the one that has a much lower risk.
Yes.
Every time. And here's the thing. Yoshi often refers to Final Fantasy XIV as a theme park MMO.
Yeah.
And I think
more so now than ever before.
And here's the thing about it. When he says that, he means it's a series of attractions that he wants everyone to go and visit and see. But here's the other half of that is, so many times at theme parks, you wait in line, you get on the ride, and then you get off and leave.
Yep.
And that's what Final Fantasy XIV has become.
Yeah, but
it's a roller coaster.
At least in theme parks, you have the kiddie rides and you have the big people rides. It's mostly kiddie rides in FF14. Oh, hey, they just came out with their first roller coaster.
Yeah, we just got the dragster in FF14. Great.
Yeah, that's not a bad analogy.
My physics professor offered me an A on my final if I went on the dragster with him.
Really?
No, I did not.
You didn't?
Did you get an A anyway?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I was good at physics, but no, yeah. He looked at me and looked at the dragster. He's like, "You're afraid of heights, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I'll give you an A. You can hand me that paper right now, and I'll give you an A if you go on that with me."
Let me tell you something. I did go on the dragster.
Yeah. Did you not make it over the top?
No. We did.
Oh, okay.
We did. I passed out at the top. Only roller coaster I've ever passed out on.
Yeah.
What? I've ridden that ride so many times.
Oh my God, no.
No. And that's the thing. I've never had problems with roller coasters up until I rode this thing. My girlfriend at the time, who I rode it with, said that when she looked at me when we were at the top, I was literally like limp. Right?
Yeah,
like I was
gone.
I was passed out, and I don't because I don't remember the second half.
Yeah, I broke my nose on the corkscrew.
How did you really?
Yes, I did. It was my first roller coaster I'd ever been on.
Oh, you dumb shit.
And I broke my nose on it.
How?
So on the corkscrew, there is adequately named the part where you corkscrew.
I don't know why you would get on that.
Yeah,
at
you
all.
go on like
just
three.
get
Oh,
sick.
I ride that all the time.
That was what my friends were going on, so we all went. And as I was on it, my glasses started shaking on my face like crazy. So I reached up to try to grab my glasses. But you're in the corkscrew, and you're pressed up against the seat, and you can't. So as hard as I could, I tried to reach my hand up to grab my glasses, and then we came out of the corkscrew, and I smacked myself in the face.
You punched yourself and broke
I broke my own nose. And then the best part is, so what happens when you get hit in the nose? Your eyes start watering.
Yeah.
So I get off the ride, blood everywhere, crying my eyes out effectively, and this little kid can see me waiting to get on the ride and starts losing his fucking mind.
Oh my God.
Not wanting to get on because he thinks he's gonna die.
I'm sure it looked like you had gotten hit in the face by a bird. Like he
it did. Like I was bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucked. I hate roller coasters. I've never gotten on one
remember when
since.
Fabio got hit in the face by a bird on a roller coaster? I remember that. Yeah, isn't that weird how that is just like a little moment in someone's life that got blown up and made a punchline everywhere, and no one can ever fucking forget it now.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? Like,
that's what you're remembered for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers Fabio.
No, but you remember the bird story.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
I mean, there are some rides where I will like lose my vision, but I've never completely passed out.
Oh yeah, no. I passed out on the Top Thrill Dragster, and I had equilibrium problems after riding the Yeti roller coaster at Animal Kingdom.
When I wouldn't go on any more roller coasters, they started giving me shit. I don't know why. I just broke my nose. Anyway, they all got on the Raptor and started giving me shit because I wouldn't go. So I went over the food court, and the Raptor broke down while they were on it. And And they were suspended right where the Raptor goes over the food court. So I got to sit there eating food in front of them while they were stuck on the ride for 3 hours.
That's fucking funny.
So good.
That's fucking funny. Listen, we gotta wrap up. We gotta wrap up the show. One more roller coaster story before we end. I don't know how we got. By the way, Morgan, thanks for the call. We appreciate hearing from you. I know that we got here talking about theme parks, but my favorite roller coaster story happened at Cedar Point. I was on the Millennium Force. Right? It starts like we can see storm clouds rolling in because it's right there on the bay, right on the lake,
Yep.
right? And so we see these storm clouds rolling in, and they look angry, and we're like looking at the line, and we're like, I think we can make it. Like I think
we can make it.
Yeah, like we were just close enough where we were like, I think we can make it just before the storm hits. And we're sitting down in the roller coaster cars, and we're like, there's no way that they're going to send us up. They're going to pull us off. There's no way. And then they lock down the bars, and they start sending us up the hill. And we're like, no fucking way. No fucking way this is happening right now. This is awesome.
How we die.
This is awesome.
Oh my God.
No, because I mean, we just assumed that it was going to be rain. Right. So we get halfway up the hill, and it starts raining, and I'm not talking like normal rain. It's like torrential downpour. You spend 30 seconds in this rain, and you're soaked from head to toe.
Yeah.
So all of us are soaked and laughing and like, oh, this is going to be awesome. We're going to ride a roller coaster in the rain. That's going to be hilarious, right? So get up to the top of the hill. The Millennium Force pauses before it takes you down one of the largest drops in roller coaster history.
Yep.
And it pauses there for probably a good 25 seconds. It's a definite, it's a pregnant pause. You can feel that
long
pause.
Enough time, yeah.
And while we're up there waiting to go down the first hill of the Millennium Force, one of the biggest, sharpest bolts of lightning comes and tears the sky in half. Not 150 feet to the left of us. And all of us just start screaming before they let that motherfucker down the track. And we rolled. Look, when you have that much rain being pelted at you and you're going that fast, you cannot open your eyes.
No.
You can't. It's impossible. So you're going through, we were all conscious of the fact that a fucking lightning bolt had just happened directly next to us, and no one can open their eyes. So we're going through the roller coaster, and it's legitimate life terror that is happening at the exact same time. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like that, but it's like getting 4 shots of adrenaline all at the same time.
Yeah.
And when we got off the roller coaster, all anyone who was on those cars could do was laugh or cry.
Yeah.
It was like
one of those two emotions,
it was the craziest thing that I've ever experienced at any
it's
theme
hysteria,
park.
basically.
That's terrifying.
It really was. It was hysteria. It felt great. Like I can understand. Like it was one of those things where you're like you feel like I cheated death.
Yeah, it's like people who do like the big the base jumps and stuff
exactly.
like that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I totally understand how someone can get addicted to this because I feel fucking amazing right now. And it didn't set in until later how truly dangerous that was.
Died.
Yeah. Like that lightning bolt could have easily been our car.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like you're not up high enough.
Yeah.
Spooky.
We're the highest fucking thing on metal.
Right.
It was terrifying. It really was. But you don't realize it until later. Anyway, Piggy, I know I see you hanging on the line, just wanting to say hi. Say hi real quick, and then we got to let you go.
What up, y'all?
What's up, Piggy? Thanks for calling in, man. We gotta let you go. Yeah, thank you. We love you too. All right, we gotta wrap it up here. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, for calling in. Make sure if you want to call in next week. We will be here next Sunday, and probably every Sunday after that. Again, thank you so much for letting us have the opportunity to take the weekend off. That was really, really important for us. And I got to say that, the crew that works on Limit Break Radio and Final Encounter Cast and Checkpoint Radio, they've been working so fucking hard. And I was able to take my week off going out to Seattle, and it felt appropriate with that weekend being Labor Day. A lot of people had plans already that we allow everyone to get a little little bit of downtime. So
it was good.
Yeah,
and it was needed.
Good. I'm glad that that you guys were able to recharge, and that we were able to come back to the show with a little bit more energy and enthusiasm.
Ready to have some fun.
Yeah. And one last point that I want to hit on before we let you go today. Something that I reminded the crew of, and we're going to try to keep this in mind for the next couple of weeks of shows, is that we do recognize that, for a lot of our listeners that may have been affected by Harvey, maybe being affected by Irma right now, that, we might be your only tangible connection to Eorzea for a couple of weeks while you guys, get all of the damage sorted out and everything. Power lines come back on, internet gets restored, but then there's also, the actual, very real damage to people's houses and property that they've got to sort through as well. So, for as cynical and negative as we can be on the show, we are also going to keep in mind that we are, for some people, your only connection or one of your few connections that you can remain to Eorzea, and that
normalcy.
Yeah, and that while we may not be as enthused about logging in every day and playing, that a lot of our listeners are, and that a lot of our listeners use this show and their connection to the game to stay connected to their friend group, to stay up to date on things that are going on. So, if you guys have any messages that you want us to share, if you are maybe a victim of either Harvey or Irma, that you would like to for us to pass along to your link shell or your raid group or your free company in Eorzea, we'll read some of those next time. You can send those over to hosts@limitbreakradio.com. We would be happy to send that along. Or if you are in a guild or a free company or a link shell that that one of your free company mates is being affected by this, you can also send an email over to hosts@limitbreakradio.com, and we will be happy to share your message with them in case they're still able to listen to the show. So it's a tough time. We've all got to kind of pull together, not just as gamers, not just as players of Final Fantasy XIV, but as human beings, to be able to make life livable for people affected by such a terrible and huge storm. So we're gonna do that if in just the small way that we know how to, and just by sharing messages back and forth. So again, hosts@limitbreakradio.com if that's something that you'd like to do. Again, we invite you to come back next Sunday starting at 4 here on twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio for more live FF14 discussion. Stay tuned. Coming up next here on twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio, we'll have the latest episode of Checkpoint Radio. And this is a great episode, by the way. This is one of my favorites so far that we've put together. This was our PAX West 2017 coverage, and we spent nearly the whole first hour catching up with the creators of Ashes of Creation, sitting down with Koji Igarashi, checking out a new game, a new MMO, a single shard space MMO called Dual Universe, and Jinx Clothing. That's all coming up on Checkpoint Radio. If you missed that live broadcast, you can check it out on demand over at our website, checkpointradio.com, on Tuesdays. All right, that's going to be it for Limit Break Radio this week. Again, thank you so much to all of our callers, to everyone currently listening right now, and for all of you that tune in each and every single Sunday. Thank you so much for all of your support. For my crew, Kooky Persona, who's been hanging out, answering calls, Skuro, who's been actually on top of his YouTube
all over
game this week. Good job, Skuro. And of course, for my hosts, Nika Kayanian, Escalia Rayumasa, Kalo Landis, I'm Aniro. Keep listening. Limit Break Radio is a production of LimitBreakRadio.com and Bender Media Productions. This episode was produced by Kalo Landis, Juxtaposition, and Kooky Persona. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Funding for Limit Break Radio is provided by Miri Kennett, Satori Komeji, Dark Flux, Null Packet, Shira Heartslot, Nexian Theta, Brian Alexander, Tommy Carlson, Hirsch Fersh, and fellow Limit Break Radio listeners. To support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. Opening music in this episode from Daniel Lambie. Listen to Man with the Machine Gun and other great tracks Listen to Man with the Machine Gun and other great tracks at facebook.com/Daniel Lambie Metal Gamer. Closing music in this episode provided by Husky by the Geek. Listen to this and other great Final Fantasy XIV and video game rock covers and original music at facebook.com/Husky by the Geek. In-game graphics for Limit Break Radio's Twitch stream are provided by Diamond Multimedia. Check out their line of AMD graphics cards and other hardware at diamondmm.com. Limit Break Radio and its hosts are solely responsible for its content. Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning into